What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
15 LF. Chapter 236. The Outbreak of War. Swept the quartet. Halala. Wow. As the waves rolled, and at this moment, the entire battlefield had fallen into an extremely terrifying state, and everyone's expressions were very sharp, because everyone was very clear, although it was said. The war has not yet begun, but this war can definitely reach the level of sweeping the entire world, and it will be an extremely terrifying, even terrifying war. 6699. Adam stood with his hands behind his back, and said indifferently, "What do you two think? Are you planning to participate in this murky water?" There are two people standing beside Adam. Both of them are wearing jet black suits. Compared with Adam, who is wearing a standard Western robe, there is a clear style gap. Obviously, these two people are not from the kingdom of Adam. People. The first man said calmly, "Back then, the Whitebeard Pirates destroyed the Shadow Island. For so many years, there has been no good chance to target the Whitebeard Pirates, but now, their alliance is against you. Shoot, this is the best chance for revenge." The second man said indifferently, "Yes. Revenge is the best opportunity. If so, of course, we must seize this opportunity. Under this opportunity, the opponent's strength is not enough. It's just an ant." That's right. These two men are the two kings from the Sombra organization, one of the Dark Emperors. They ruled Sombra Island, but because of their departure, their home was stolen. The entire Sombra Island was destroyed, and the entire Sombra organization also declined, but no matter what it is, it must be acknowledged that the strength of Sombra Island is not weak, even to say. Just three unreasonable Edward brothers. What's more, the king of their two rulers is no longer, and now. This is the best chance. The 957 opponent launched an attack on Atom Kingdom, and for them, such an opportunity is too much, that's right. Seizing this opportunity, it is a matter of course to defeat, kill, and destroy the entire Whitebeard Pirates. Absolutely nothing to doubt, and under such circumstances, the two of them came here. As for whether the kingdom of Adam will fail, stop making trouble. This is absolutely impossible. In the eyes of the two, this is simply unrealistic. It's like a joke. Therefore, the two knew that this was the best opportunity, not to mention. As a power that has existed for hundreds of years, that is, the owner of Shadow Island, the two brothers knew very well how terrifying the kingdom of Adam was. Terrible. This terrifying force, with the resurrection of the monster Adam, the next strength will be the most terrifying. Because of this, with the destruction of Black Shadow Island, the two of them also need to find their own backing, and obviously, Atom Kingdom is the most suitable thing. Since this is the case, then, this is the best opportunity. Through this opportunity, you can get the benefits, but it is very scary. The eyes of the two of them gradually became sharp, staring at everything in front of them, and a terrifying killing intent emerged, obviously. These two people have their own ideas, and they are very clear in their hearts. Down, what will happen, and what will the next result be? Will the result really develop as they thought? Maybe, maybe not, but if not, then what they need to pay is the price of their lives and the complete destruction of Shadow Island, and for these two people, actually. They already don't care about things at all, or in other words. For all this, they don't really care anymore. They are very clear that the benefits they get from continuing are also very low. Although they can survive, it is impossible to re-establish Black Shadow Island. Black Shadow Island is the result of hundreds of years of hard work. Perhaps in terms of strength, whether it is a superpower or a Dark Emperor, it is not necessarily the case. Strong enough. However, their background is rich enough, and under the offensive of the three Edward brothers. What is destroyed is hundreds of years of hard work. Therefore, want to recover again. This is already impossible. Or, so far, this is the only result. Want to change. It is completely impossible. This is the only result. Whether it is at any time, this is something that can't be changed, whether to admit it or not. This is something that must be admitted. You must admit it, and it is impossible to deny it, because the strength of the other party is really it is too strong to be changed. Woo. Taking a deep breath, the two brothers silently looked at everything in front of them. They have made their own choices. The reason is normal, because everything for them is impossible to recover, and no one will allow them to recover again. After all, to see such a decimated behemoth resurrected again. Stop making trouble. This is absolutely impossible. There is no need to doubt it. This is absolutely impossible. Under such circumstances, there is no need to doubt the following results, because of this. This is the fundamental reason. 6699. Looking at the pair of brothers quietly, Adam's mouth curled into a faint smile, his eyes filled with calm. Not bad. This pair of brothers is very courageous, directly carrying all the rest of Shadow Island. The powers of the people have all joined the kingdom of Adam, it can be said. The background given is enough. This attitude makes Adam very satisfied. They have done a good job, and being able to make such a choice obviously makes Adam very satisfied, and even makes Adam feel very good. After all, in the face of such a strong alliance, although it is just a group of garbage like pirates, it is enough to be able to make such a choice. Of course. Will Adam fail for himself? Impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Adam never thought he would fail. Just kidding. To fail in the face of such garbage. It's like a joke. It's absolutely impossible things, even to say. This is something that does not need to be doubted at all. If you will fail in the face of such an existence, then it is a joke. Woo. Wei Wei let out a sigh of turbid air, and Adam stood with his hands behind his back, his eyes filled with endless indifference, and said calmly, "Next, let me see what kind of strength you can come up with, the little devil back then. Everything is completely different now. Let me take a look. What kind of choice will you make?" Humph. A faint sneer appeared, and Adam was full of enough arrogance, obviously. For all this, Adam was still full of endless confidence and arrogance. Just kidding. How could he fail because of these little devils? It's a mess. This is absolutely impossible. Adam has absolute confidence in this. Joking, if he is not even a match for such a group of little devils. Then he might as well die. Real. This is exactly the case for Adam. He really feels that he cannot fail. And, in the end, he was defeated by a group of mud-legged pirates that he looked down on. When he was not resurrected, Adam's cleverness made him take a step back, but now Adam's arrogance will never support him to take a step back. Just kidding. He has been resurrected, and after so many years, he has woken up, but because of these muddy legs the kid retreats. If it really retreats like this, Adam would rather choose death. Wow. With the churning of the waves, the pirate ships have gradually docked, and the distance from the land of Adam Kingdom is no more than 100 meters, and this distance is very short, especially the Moby Dick. This behemoth, as if an island is gradually colliding, at this moment. 66.99. In the whole world, almost everyone is watching this war, and the major newspapers send their own people to broadcast the whole process. It can be said that although Morgan's has not yet appeared, but the major newspapers are not idiots, they are all very clear. Such a big news, if they can be master, then how powerful the income will be, it is already self-evident. Therefore, right now, everyone is staring at everything in front of them, everyone's eyes are very hot, and the whole world is like this. Everyone knows that this war, although it will not change the course of the world, it can definitely be changing the pattern of the world. For the whole world, the destruction of Rock's pirate is like a short-lived pirate. The terrifying monster formed by the pirates has disappeared. However, if it reappears, what will be the result? In fact, it is self-evident. Everyone looks down on the pirates again, but if the kingdom of Adam is destroyed this time, it will prove that terrifying monsters like pirates have appeared again, and at that time, what will be the result? In fact, it is self-evident. Horror, fear, panic, all this will sweep the world again, and the pattern of the world will change again, and the pirates, who are despised by everyone, will once again thoroughly imprinted in the eyes of everyone. Let everyone know that even such a muddy leg will have terrifying power, and such a result, do you think the world pattern will not be changed? It must be changed. Yes, it is absolutely a thing without a doubt. Therefore, as the huge pirate fleet gradually stopped, the result was different. This battle was watched by the whole world. Snapped. Alan walked out step by step with his hands in his pockets, stood on the bow of the Moby Dick, casually looking into the distance, and said lightly, "Adam. You old guy, I thought you would stick to your choice, in the end, just die like this. It's really a pity, you old guy is resurrected very quickly." Ha ha ha. Listening to Alan's sarcastic smile, Adam didn't show any irritation, but said indifferently, "There's nothing strange about this. I know very well that this is a chaotic sea, and if that's the case, then we have to it's better to recover sooner. It's an extremely important thing." There is endless indifference in his eyes. Adam has no emotional fluctuations, as if he doesn't care at all about all this. Any words from Alan? "Sorry, I don't care at all." Stop it. No one really thinks that the kind of people who are arrogant and look at people without opening their eyes really exist, right? Yes. Existence. Celestial dragons is such a guy, but remember, celestial dragons are always in the minority. Because, the very existence of celestial dragons is a huge problem. Because of this, celestial dragons are different from normal people, and for real normal people, they can't do this at all things to come. Joke. They are not idiots, and as they live longer and longer, their experience and xing have all been tempered and grown. If there is no such growth, that's the weirdest thing, isn't it? Don't think that people who live longer and longer are more lonely and strange, on the contrary. As time grows, when everything is honed, it is completely different. This is the most normal thing. The so-called arrogance is a very strange thing. There must be arrogance, but it will never act like an idiot. This is absolutely impossible. Therefore, that's the absolutely very important thing. Woo. He spit out a puff of smoke, listening to Adam's words, and Alan grinned and said interestingly, "Sure enough. It's almost as I guessed. A guy like you can't really be like an idiot, on the contrary. For guys like you, your strength and all aspects of you are absolutely terrifying enough." Search. Licking the corner of his mouth slightly, Alan said savagely, "Because of this. For a guy like you, hunting is really 5.9 exciting. I'm really looking forward to facing a guy like you, in the end. How? 39. He. It's a matter of course, and that's what it should be. And this war that swept the entire sea and would change the situation of the entire sea is about to break out, and facing Alan's order, Adam said lightly, the war has begun, let me see it. A hideous smile appeared, Alan's killing intent was absolutely terrifying enough, and no one else spoke. The reason is very simple, even if this time the alliance was organized by Shaki, but Alan's strength only needs to be the strongest, then there is no doubt about who is the leader. Ha ha ha. P.S. 5,000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. Second update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. Alan laughed loudly, the corners of his mouth grinned, and said hideously, if that's the case, then I don't need to be polite. The attack has begun. In this war, let me see what the strength of Adam's kingdom is. Bar. This is something that absolutely does not need to be doubted, and it is not surprising at all. Because for this sea, the strong are respected, isn't this a matter of course? Or, isn't this what it should be? As long as you understand one thing is very clear. This is the way it should be, and for the whole sea it is the truth. And as Alan gave the order of war, a deafening roar sounded in the entire battlefield, everyone made a deafening roar, and everyone's eyes were flickering with terrifying rays of light, even more flickering. Terrifying aura, obviously. For these guys, they couldn't wait. Roar. Chapter 237. The Kingdom of Adam. The atmosphere became silent for a while, as if everything became silent, everyone felt very, very strange, even very strange. In this short period of time, everything became strange. It can be said, everything has become different, but just in this moment, a terrifying force suddenly burst out, and the atmosphere of the entire battlefield has become completely different. This game can be said to be into the most terrifying war after the Valley of God war broke out completely. Roar. 99. Kill. 5. Oh who. 35. With this deafening and terrifying roar, in an instant, the sky is shattered. The whole sea seems to be churning up. This is really too fast, everything is churning wildly, and one by one the pirates, they were not afraid of their own life and death, and rushed directly into the battlefield. For these lunatics, they don't care about what will happen next, they only care about defeating and beheading each other. This is their only idea. It can be said that death represents everything, and under this endless death, what will be the next result? He. In fact, it is self-evident. It will become a terrifying meat grinder, a meat grinder that drives everyone crazy. Exclamation mark. Boom boom boom. Boom. The endless roar resounded, and accompanied by this deafening sea, it seemed to be swallowing everything up. This was really too fast, the pirates attacked, and the roar of a large number of artillery fire instantly began to sound. Thorough. Countless roars exploded, and with this deafening roar, the entire sea was staring at everything that was about to happen in front of them. Everything. His eyes were full of indifference and indifference. Alan just looked at everything in front of him quietly, without any intention of participating in it, just put his hands in his pockets, full of casual expression, that accompanied the gust of wind from the battlefield, and his captain's coat seemed to be rattling. The sound is the same, but this sound already represents everything, and it also represents what will happen after 06. Humph. There was a smile on the corner of his mouth, and Alan said in a funny way, it's really interesting. Adam Kingdom, let me take a look at your strength. How terrifying is it, under the leadership of such a terrifying monster? Next, what a horrible country this will be. It's really fun. It's really exciting. Alan's smile is unusually strong, although it is said. In the past few years, Alan has rarely spoken, but because of this. Instead, Alan's strength has increased more and more terrifying, even to say. It makes people feel terrified, and under such circumstances, Alan's speed is getting faster and faster, and with this amazing strength. In a short period of time, the result. It is already the most terrifying thing. Therefore, Alan's strength increases, and what will be the result? In fact, everyone is very clear. This is a very scary thing, whether you admit it or not, it is beyond doubt, it is impossible to deny it, it is impossible to change things. And now, because of the boring war, Alan finally met an interesting opponent. Adam Kingdom, this is a very interesting opponent. I don't know what the strength is. I don't know if there is anyone who can fight with him. What about the opponent? This is the most interesting and exciting thing. Search. Licking the corners of his mouth slightly, Alan's smile was extremely rich and even more interesting, so to speak. The look and posture of the whole person have changed. Crazy. Fear. Ferocious. That's right, such terrifying emotions have already surfaced in Alan's body, becoming more and more terrifying, and if this result goes on, what will the result be? In fact, it is self-evident. Now, as this result continues, everything that follows will become more and more terrifying, even to say. It will make people feel endlessly terrified, but at this moment, the time that has been quiet for several years, as if all of these are monsters that have been abandoned, and they have once again shown their terrifying side. Demon. This is Alan's title, and because of this, a terrifying monster can have such a title, so what does it represent? In fact, it is self-evident. It is even said that as long as it is not an idiot, it is very clear what happened. This means that this man has invincible strength, this monster has a terrifying mind, and this is a terrifying demon. Hee hee. The corner of Alan's mouth is grinning with a ferocious look, and the whole person is full of endless madness. He is very interested in what's going to happen next. It's even very interesting. What's next is very interesting. It really makes Laozi feel interesting. It also makes Laozi feel excited. What will the next result be? Interesting. Interesting. Alan's killing intent is absolutely terrifying enough, but it is also full of endless excitement. He quietly looks at the battlefield in front of him, but he wants to see what kind of strength Atom Kingdom can show. Don't doubt, Atom, the strength of the kingdom is not weak at all. Or, both sides of this war are not weak at all, although it is said. These monsters led by Alan did not take action, but do you really think that their strength is weak? No, no, no. As long as it is a little thought, just a moment, you will understand, then the result is already something that does not need to be doubted. Under such absolute strength, the result is the most lethal. It is also the most terrifying. Because, that is enough to sweep the entire world and make people feel endlessly terrifying. Kill, kill. With such a terrifying roar, the entire battlefield has completely fallen into madness. Countless people are full of madness, and they have no intention of showing mercy. For them, they would not be merciful, or rather, they will only strike dead. They will only strike ruthlessly. What do you think the next result will be? Actually, this is something that people will not doubt at all, and there is no doubt about it. Because, this is an unparalleled terrifying force, whether you admit it or deny it, it's all something that must be acknowledged. Hee hee. A terrifying murderous intent emerged, and a terrifying light flashed across Alan's eyes, and it was full of terrifying murderous intent. This war is getting more and more interesting, cadres one by one. The strong. They have already shot. In terms of this number of people, it has reached an astonishing 70,000 to 80,000 people, and even reached a number of 100,000 people, but even with such a number, in the face of such an attack, the strength and resilience of the Kingdom of Atom showed. It is still very terrifying, and even makes people feel endlessly terrified. Kill, kill. With such a roar, the entire battlefield has fallen into a complete madness, which is like a terrifying meat grinder. No one knows what the next result will be, but everyone. The most clear thing is that in such a meat grinder, no matter who it is, you must not be careless. Otherwise, the result will be destruction. This is absolutely beyond doubt. Bastard. Get out of the way for Laozi. Damn it. Kill you. Damn it. 35. Battle. 35. This is our loyalty. With all the mad roars and the indifferent voices like this, the war between everyone seems to be different, in a short time. Everything is different, and all this as the earth-shaking changes began to take place gradually, and in such changes, what will be the next result? In fact, it is self-evident. This will be an extremely terrifying war, and under this war, what will happen next is the most terrifying. A large number of people have died, and there are no subordinates. Be merciful, after all. Alan has no need to treat others, except for the people of the Whitebeard Pirates who are not afraid of casualties. Everyone else needs to consider these. Alan just looked at everything in front of him quietly, and didn't take it all seriously at all. For all this, it seemed that he didn't care about it at all. Looking at everything in front of you, quietly waiting for the next results to appear. Humph. Adam lightly raised the corner of his mouth, his eyes filled with endless indifference, and said calmly, "It's really good strength. Unfortunately, if it's just such strength, then it's completely meaningless. Too weak. Too weak. This is nothing at all. A weak force is nothing worth mentioning. Attack. Yes." Standing behind Adam, the man wearing jet black knight armor bowed his head respectfully. No one could see what his expression was, but following his orders, jet black figures appeared one after another. There are only 7,000 people in total, and the people at the head are the people of the winged people. It can be said that these 7,000 knights exude terrifying strength. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. As these 7,000 knights joined the battlefield, in a short period of time, the pirates' coalition was completely suppressed. Only 7,000 people burst out of the force, but it was the most terrifying. It is also the most terrifying force. 35. Watching this scene, Akoku frowned slightly, and then said, "The strength of the Black Knights is still not enough to let down their guard. Let all the cadres take action." 39. 55. Following Akoku's order, some of the cadres who were originally just watching the fun had already taken action. They knew that the hunt could not continue like this. Otherwise, the war would be over. Because of this originally suppressed battlefield has once again become a reverse suppression. But Akoku knows that their strength is more than that, which is impossible. On the contrary, the opponent's strength is very strong, and it should even be called terror. Such a strong strength is absolutely beyond doubt. That's it, it can be said without any hesitation that the strength of the other party is beyond doubt. There is only endless terror and endless indifference in Alan's eyes. For the Black Knights, he, I know very well, and I even know that the owner of Atom Kingdom is such a powerful Black Knights. Clear thing. Actually, in the Kingdom of Atom, There are not only 7 generals named after the 7 deadly sins and the Black Knights, but also the White Knights named after the 7 virtues. It can be said that this is the elite of the kingdom of Adam, except those knights who are like garbage, the elite group of knights with only 14,000 people as the foundation of the real Adam kingdom, it can be said. The strength of these 14,000 people is absolutely beyond doubt. That is a terrifying monster. However, 35. Dick. 35. Do you think they look like puppets? Alan's mouth suddenly twitched, and when he spoke with interest, Newgate was stunned for a moment and thought for a moment. Brother. You mean there is something wrong with their existence? They are not real human beings at all. Well, 95. Alan said casually. It can't be said that 957's existence is indeed real human beings. But the difference is that although they are real human beings, they are not real human beings, although this statement is more troublesome, but it's a real fact. Think about it a little, and you'll understand what exactly is contained in it. Others can't see it, but as Alan, who has the magical power of the sheep talisman, can't he see all this? Stop making trouble. This is absolutely impossible. On the contrary, Alan is very clear that it contains in the end, it is very clear. What is the situation of the other party? It can be said, the background of the kingdom of Adam is definitely endless. But one thing that can be confirmed is that at the same time as the endless background of the kingdom of Adam, what it contains is the power of terror. This. There is absolutely no need to doubt that it is the control of the soul. As for the control of the soul, was it Adam controlled? Indeed it is. But it is not under the control of the current Adam, because the current Adam is a human fruit, and phantom beast, an angel in the form of ability. Not any other devil fruit ability, this is absolutely no doubt. Teach, how did you get 2 devil fruits? And under such a result, what will happen next? In fact, it is self-evident. Strength. Absolutely strength. This is a very important thing. What will happen? This is the most terrifying thing. The price you need to pay if you are not careful is the price of life, even fatal. But the things that are endured here are definitely the most terrifying things. Woo. P.S. 5,000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. Third update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. This is something that no one knows, but it is certain. It is absolutely impossible for ordinary people to have 2 devil fruits. This is absolutely normal, even if it is Adam's ability that was once used for the devil fruit of the soul, it is the same. Because of this, what will happen in the next results? It must be self-evident. And because of this, the next result is actually. This is absolutely beyond doubt. It can be said, in terms of overall strength, it is absolutely terrifying. The power contained in it is absolutely terrifying, and even more, it's a very scary thing. Slowly exhaling a thick puff of smoke, Alan just watched the battlefield quietly, and through such a soul method, Adam controlled a lot of terrifying knights. They seem to be immortal, their souls are the core, and if you can't hurt the soul, just hurting the appearance is completely meaningless. Still, that sentence, Alan didn't think of any hints, he just looked at it like this. Does this have anything to do with him? Chapter 238. Marco. Abel. War. It is still continuing, and even the more terrifying it is, the more terrifying it is. This is not something that needs to be doubted. For this sea, the power above the sea and the major forces are all possessed by them, so they can be called invincible. The power of only. Well known. Why is the Whitebeard Pirates called the number 1 pirates in the world? The reason is very simple. That is, the Whitebeard Pirates have 3 Edward brothers. Edward Allen, Edward Newgate, Edward Kaido. These 3 people have invincible power, even to say. The power of the 3 of them has reached a very terrifying level, and under such circumstances, what will be the next result? Everyone who knows it is very clear, terrifying. Terrifying. Invincible. This is the most appropriate way to say that the strength of these 3 people is what has pushed the Whitebeard Pirates to become the world's #1 pirate group. Because, starting from the beginning is because these 3 people are too strong, so powerful that people can't imagine things at all, and under such a result, what will be required next? In other words, the next result, how will it be? Presumably, as long as they are not idiots, they are very clear about how powerful these 3 people are. This is also the fundamental reason why few people challenge the Whitebeard Pirates. Because the strength is too strong, so powerful the extent of it, and what the next result will be, is actually self-evident. It can be said, this is the terror of the Whitebeard Pirates, but, for a long time, all the people on this sea really valued only the 3 Edward brothers of the Whitebeard Pirates. In the eyes of others, are the other members of the Whitebeard Pirates. Do you need attention? No, not at all. In the eyes of others, the rest of the Whitebeard Pirates simply do not need attention. Because they are too weak to be looked down upon at all, this is only the weak. But some things are not that simple at all, isn't it? Just like at this moment, although the 3 Edward brothers have not shot, but the power displayed at this moment is the same horror, the same makes people feel endlessly terrified. And this terrifying power, what will be the next result? In fact, it is self-evident. Next, presumably, as long as they are not idiots, they will know how terrifying the Whitebeard Pirates are. Even without the three Edward brothers, they still possess the terrifying power of their owners. They are still the #1 pirate group in the world. This is their self-confidence. After all these 10 years, it would be the strangest thing if they still can't reach this level, isn't it? So, do not doubt. There is no need to hesitate. In this battle, all of this is already in sight, and it is time for the whole world to see how powerful the Whitebeard Pirates are. Whitebeard Pirates, what kind of power do you need to give, and what will the next result be? In fact, it is self-evident. Brush, brush. A azure blue light shot into the sky in an instant, and this figure was Marco, and the corner of Marco's mouth evoked a smile, like a phoenix soaring past, extremely fast, azure blue undead bird. It swept away everyone. Attack. Yes. With the issuance of the order, countless bullets and the roar of artillery fire fell madly, directly on Marco's body, but faced with such an attack, Marco didn't care at all, as if he didn't care at all. In the eyes of the same. Crackling. The azure blue flame is burning hot. This is really too fast. In a short period of time, everything seems to be different. This is really too fast, and all this happened time was too fast, and when Marco stopped in midair, there was no injury. Humph. 35. There was a smile on the corner of his mouth, and a smile appeared in Marco's dead fish eyes, and he said with a light smile, "Everyone. It seems that your strength is not enough to defeat me. If that's the case, then, I bet you're welcome. Let you see my strength, the strength of our Whitebeard Pirates, but there is no doubt about it." Phoenix Seal. 35. A sharp light flashed across Marco's eyes, and at this moment, he suddenly shot. The sharp cold light fell madly, and the terrifying offensive seemed to devour everything, and the terrifying shock wave exploded in an instant. Boom. The terrifying roar exploded in an instant, all these short bursts of roar. It seems to be swallowing everything up. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. Drops of blood dripped, and under Marco's blow, a large number of people have been destroyed in an instant, and a large number of people were killed in an instant. This is really too fast, and Marco, there was a smile on the corner of his mouth, and then he continued to rush directly into the crowd at an extremely fast speed, which was really too fast. As if it happened in a short period of time, this is really too fast, and it has reached an unimaginable level, and because of this. In such a fast situation, what is the next result? In fact, as long as you're not an idiot, you probably know what's going on. Search. Marco continued to transform into a blue phoenix and rushed into the crowd again. The speed was still extremely fast, but in this short period of time, under the amazing speed, it seemed that he was about to rush into the crowd. Everything is devoured, and the efficiency of all this is too fast. It is in this moment. Boom, boom. Marco's figure flashed by in an instant, and all that was left was the roar. In this short period of time, it seemed that everything was swallowed up. The speed of all this was too fast. Everything is in the blink of an eye. Under such a terrifying speed, what will be the next result? Presumably, as long as it is not an idiot, it is very clear. Marco's strength is very strong, there is absolutely no doubt about it. Obviously, the people above the sea are not idiots, and they also understand this. Marco is really terrifying. This is not a joke, but a real fact. Humph. The corner of Marco's mouth twitched, a smile full of confidence and a proud look. Obviously, Marco still has absolute confidence, and under such a result, what will happen next? In fact, it is not a self-evident thing. Phoenix Marco. How is this possible? Marco's strength is so powerful. Damn it. And the people watching the battlefield are full of disbelief expressions. That's right. They really can't believe it, or rather, they just don't want to believe that Marco is too strong, so powerful. The situation is unparalleled and shocking, and how terrifying is such a terrifying strength? As long as they are not idiots, they are very clear about how terrifying this is. What terrifying strength is this? And because of this, this is the most terrifying thing. This is the most terrifying thing, isn't it? As a result, as long as they are not idiots, they are very clear. If every strong person in the Whitebeard Pirates has such strength, then, the result is self-evident, which means that in the Whitebeard Pirates, even if they lost the three Edward brothers, but everyone in the Whitebeard Pirates still possesses unparalleled terrifying power. Huh. He let out a deep breath of turbid air, and everyone's expressions were very solemn, and they really did not dare to have any carelessness from beginning to end, and the people watching this battle were full of endless staring expressions, and the stare was on Marco. He tilde operator tilde operator tilde operator. Like a god of war, Marco has defeated many people in a short period of time. Seriously. Bird fruit. Phantom species, phoenix form. This devil fruit has the most terrifying resilience of all devil fruits. This is the level of terror of the phantom beasts, and this is also the most terrifying power of the phoenix type. Under the teaching of Alan, Marco, the development of their own abilities is even more terrifying, and if this is the case, what will the result be? In fact, it is self-evident. This power is absolutely terrifying enough, there is no doubt about it. As long as you are not an idiot, you can see how terrifying this power is. And Marco showed his strength perfectly. This is absolutely beyond doubt. He tilde operator tilde operator tilde operator. Marco looked around and said proudly, if you only have this kind of strength, then But you can't do anything about me. My phoenix fruit has absolutely terrifying resilience. It's not that you can just do whatever you want. Oh beat. 66.99. Listening to Marco's words, the people of Atom Kingdom were filled with endless indifference, right at this moment. A pitch-black figure suddenly passed by, and a pair of pitch-black wings appeared behind him. For Island. In fact, there are two types of people. The first is those who are born with wings, and these people are called wing people, and the other is people who are born without wings, but have prepared wings for themselves the day after tomorrow. These people are called Qinghai people. But, above this sea, even the winged human race, there are very few people who can fly casually, but each of these winged human races in Atom Kingdom can fly casually. What does this mean? In fact, it goes without saying that the bloodlines of these winged people are all people whose strength has been greatly tempered. This is the most terrifying thing. This is the most terrifying thing. Isn't it? Crackling. Boom. Marco and the Black Knight who rushed up had a very fast battle. Marco quickly retreated and avoided the opponent's attack. Although the phoenix fruit is said to have terrifying resilience, it requires physical strength. Yes. In that case, why do I have to confront you head on? It is obviously an attack that can be avoided, but in the end, I actually chose to confront you head on. Stop making trouble. This is absolutely impossible. As long as you are not an idiot, it is impossible to do such a thing. And obviously, Marco just not an idiot. In Alan's teaching, Marco understood that using his devil fruit flexibly can bring out the perfect power of his devil fruit, but this does not mean that no matter it is faced with any power, it's a deadly battle to prove. It's absolutely meaningless, even to say it. It's impossible. Obviously, after Marco accepted the teachings of his uncle, he understood all of these and attacks that can be avoided, so of course it is most appropriate to dodge this way. If it is a head-on battle, then it is not suitable at all. Recovery also requires physical strength. Why do I waste such meaningless physical strength just to pretend? Just to look good? Isn't that idiot-like behavior? At least, Marco won't do it. Of course, although Marco said he wouldn't do it, Alan would definitely do it. The reason is very simple, Alan doesn't care so much. Anyway, Alan's physical strength really can't control an ultimate, it's really endless if this is the case. Laozi is afraid of these things. It's like a joke. Backquote he he he. Marco looked at the opponent in front of him, the corners of his mouth grinned, and an interesting smile emerged, and said interestingly, if that's the case, then the next battle will be very interesting. As expected of the Kingdom of Atom. It is a strong man who can take out such strength at will. Although Marco said that he was not bragging about his own strength, most of the people on this ocean are not his opponents. But, at this moment, the people standing in front of him showed such amazing strength. This is absolutely no doubt, obviously. The strength of this Black Knight is very amazing. 35. Watching the battlefield, Alan said casually, sure enough. Just as Laozi knows, everything Nuo Li Jiao is ready. In other words, everything exists in the beginning, it's just people who gradually reappear over time. They are just like controlled machines. When Atom didn't wake up, they were also in a state of deep sleep, but now that they are awakened, their strength is extremely strong. Alan owners can see the sheep spell very clearly. They have a very strong soul. And they are absolutely loyal to Atom. Because of this, after their souls choose a suitable body, they can exert the corresponding strength. This is the source of their strength. Obviously, this is what is in front of you, as long as you are not an idiot, you can see it. But, Marco's strength is also good. Gu la la la. Newgate laughed proudly. Brother. This is Laozi's son. Isn't this a matter of course? And, this is our Whitebeard Pirates. If we don't have such strength, that would be the strangest things. There is a proud look in his eyes, obviously. Newgate has absolute confidence. Or rather, many people have absolute confidence, whether it is Alan or Newgate or Kaido, they are full of absolute self-confidence. This is something that is beyond doubt, and as time goes on, there is nothing to doubt. Woo. A puff of smoke was exhaled, and Alan's expression was filled with an indifferent gesture. It's time. After so many years, it's time to let the sea see the power of the Whitebeard Pirates, not just Marco. There are also wings that are already flying high. Abel's place soaring into the sky. Next, it is to show the whole sea how terrifying power the Whitebeard Pirates possess. P.S. 5,000-word chapter. Daily 6 updates. 4th update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. Chapter 239. Carmenio. Bullet. Boom. Boom. The roar in the sky resounded, and with this deafening roar, everyone narrowed their eyes involuntarily, and as Marco joined the battlefield, it was like adding fuel to the fire. Makes people feel endless astonishment. What kind of special power is this? Obviously, this is something that everyone has never thought of. It is undeniable that for everyone present, they are very clear that the Whitebeard Pirates are very powerful, but in the inherent image of everyone, the Whitebeard see the strength of the thief group is mainly because of the 3 Edward brothers, and at this moment, when these people appear, then the result is completely different. Marco's action seems to have proved that the Whitebeard Pirates have passed that era, and the current Whitebeard Pirates are not the same as they used to be. The current Whitebeard Pirates, even without the three elders' shots, still has great strength. And this kind of proof, what does it represent? Actually, it is very clear to everyone, it represents the invincible and terrifying strength of the Whitebeard Pirates, and the world's know. One Pirates has become the name as worthy of the name. The real number one pirate group in the world, this is the most terrifying thing. You must know that sometimes, many people know the power of a pirate group. Pirates. Why is it called a mud leg? It's actually very simple. Because of the overall strength of the pirate group, the most powerful one is almost no strong person except the captain, and this is the status quo of the pirate group, precisely because so. This is the fundamental reason why pirates are called mud legs, after all. When there is only one person's strength, then the strength is too weak, which is completely meaningless. With such a result, do we still need to hesitate? Obviously. This is something that does not need to be hesitated at all, just. If a pirate group becomes strong enough in all aspects, from captain to cadre to personnel, then the result is that it is different, because as long as you are not an idiot, you are very clear what kind of terrifying power this brings. And how amazing the opponent's strength is, this is the most terrifying, isn't it? Hee. As long as you think about it a little, you will understand what this sentence means. And for a pirate group, this is the most terrifying power. Whether it is admitting or denying, you must admit it. Thing. Just like the Whitebeard Pirates at this moment, when Marco's strength is displayed, it has already proved a point. The Whitebeard Pirates no longer rely on only 957 being the three Edward brothers as the backbone, but already has more pillars. Although it is said that on the sea, Bagley and Tiger, as the captains of the affiliated pirate group, have made a great name. But, for those big people, they really don't take it seriously, it's just relying on the name of the Whitebeard Pirates. But at this moment, they gradually understand that it doesn't seem to be the case. But the real thing is the strength is so terrifying, and with such a result, what will happen next? Presumably, this is self-evident. It is even said that this is a very terrifying thing, because under this circumstance, the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates, as long as they are not idiots, is very clear, just how terrifying the power is. Wu Wei spit out a mouthful of turbid air, and his expression has become infinitely solemn, and it has become unusually sharp, everyone dare not have any carelessness. At this time, Gollum, accompanied by the sound of boiling magma, the terrifying magma has fallen instantly, and the monstrous magma meteor shower seems to be swallowing everything up. Abel's figure swept across the sky. It is one after another of light, obviously. Abel's speed is really too fast, reaching the level of lightning. Above the jet black wings, every feather seemed to have turned into a burst of magma. In a short period of time, the crazy burst, and it was roaring wildly, as if to swallow everything up. All of this. It's so fast that one can't even notice it. Search. A pure white figure suddenly soared into the sky with extremely fast speed, and in this short period of time, it also showed amazing strength. Holding a heavy knight's sword, it has already turned all the magma into an instant. Severing. This amazing strength makes people unable to hold back their tongues, it is really too terrifying. Such strength is like endless fear. This strength. It is absolutely impossible to be careless, this is really terrifying strength. 35. Abel squinted his eyes slightly, his eyes were sharp enough, this is another powerful person, and obviously. This is Abel's opponent. It is undeniable that the number of strong men in Atom Kingdom is really terrifying, and the background is also very amazing. These people were all cultivated by Adam, or in this long period of time. And so many powerhouses have gradually emerged over time, which has proved how amazing the strength of Atom Kingdom is. Abel faces his opponents. From beginning to end, I dare not have any carelessness. Boom. The roar began to explode in an instant. One incarnates the Logia demon fruit power, showing extremely strong strength, while the other shows terrifying power, in a short period of time. The bursting strength seems to want everything, it's like being devoured. Crackling. Boom. In a short period of time, the blasting power seemed to devour everything, and the battle between the two had only just begun, but with the shots of Marco and Abel, the whole sea already knew, the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates is very strong. This is no joke. It's real power. Bastard. 35. Some people have been scolding in secret. For them, they simply cannot accept such a result. The strength of the Whitebeard Pirates is too strong. Such strength has become unacceptable. Such strength, obviously has achieved something beyond doubt. What if the entire Whitebeard Pirates continued to show great strength? What would the next result be? In fact, it is self-evident. It can be said, the Whitebeard Pirates are too strong. Powerful to the shocking level, this is the most terrifying thing. It seems, the consideration for the Whitebeard Pirates is about to change again. The Whitebeard Pirates are very powerful and very terrifying. If there is any carelessness, the price to be paid will be life. Not bad. This is the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates, but I never thought that the Whitebeard Pirates could show such strength. That's true. For this statement, everyone agrees very much, but at this moment, everyone is a serious observer of the battlefield. For them, the pattern of the next battlefield is one of the most important things, after all. If the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates continues to increase, what will be the result? Obviously, as long as it is not an idiot, it will be very terrifying. After all, if it continues, this already means that the overall strength of the Whitebeard Pirates will become more and more terrifying, and this for the whole sea. It's totally unacceptable, don't doubt, if the overall strength of the Whitebeard Pirates becomes more and more terrifying. So, everything that comes next will be the most terrifying thing, even to say. No one can change things. If it really reaches this level, then for the next results, even to say. Everything that follows will become very troublesome, and it will also make people feel very scary. It is undeniable to say. Above this sea, everyone does not want a Rocks pirate to appear again, let alone. If there is no internal problem, but completely obeying the Rocks pirate of one person, that is something that many people simply cannot accept. Woo. He let out a deep breath, and everyone was staring at the battlefield, as if they were thinking about something. Earthquake. Earthquake. 55. Seaquake. At this moment, one after another shock wave burst out, the amount of terrifying force AGFJ, as if to destroy everything around him in an instant, and the figure of Carmenio gradually walked away. It came out, the corners of his mouth twitched, and what emerged was an unparalleled shocking power. That's the power of shock fruit. Chameleon Gamenio. The legendary ability to copy fruit, this guy. As expected, his strength is also terrifying enough. Everyone is talking about it, obviously it never occurred to me that the strength of Carmenio has increased to such a level. It is undeniable that the strength of Carmenio is also scary enough, this is really not a joke. The fact is that it is too strong. The strength that Carmenio showed in this short period of time has reached a strength that is stronger than that of Marco and Abel. And such terrifying strength still comes from the Whitebeard Pirates. In fact, this has already proved something unconsciously, the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates is too terrifying. Terrifying enough to make people even maybe simply unacceptable. Gollum. Gollum. The whole sea seemed to be boiling, and Carmenio said proudly, Hey. Hey, you guys, if you can't even deal with such a power. Then you are not qualified to be the opponent of the old man. Of. Ha ha ha. With such loud laughter, it was at this moment that the digital knights seemed to have discovered the trace of Carmenio, and they made a sneak attack from the dark, in an instant. Ow's speed is really too fast, as if it's going to make people unable to react. Has this chameleon been disposed of? This is a good thing. After all, the strength of this chameleon is very strong, if it can't be dealt with. Then the price to pay will be very troublesome. That's right. 35. Everyone is very aware of this matter, and they are very aware of it. Everyone is very dignified. They even know how to deal with this matter next, just. The entire Whitebeard Pirates group it is full of indifferent things, as if. He didn't care about Carmenio's death at all. Hee hee. Next moment, an astonishing scene appeared, and Carmenio laughed in a casual voice. Hey. Hey, you don't think that I can't dodge such an attack, do you? You don't think that such an attack can kill me? Don't be kidding me. If I lose like this, I'm also a very shameful thing. Don't look down on me too much. It's like treating me as a waste. Really are. Accompanied by such an emotional voice, Carmenio's aura gradually became more and more terrifying. The next moment, it was like an instant eruption, and all of a sudden, blue flames were already burning up and down. That is the flame that belongs to the phoenix fruit. How is it possible? That is the flame of the phoenix fruit. Don't tell me. Can duplicate fruit duplicate all devil fruits without limit? Impossible. 99. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. 35. The people who watched this battle became chatty in an instant, for them. They could see that the potential of Gamenio was very strong, and if time goes by, then the future. Gamenio's the strength will be an extremely terrifying increase, and because of this, if this is the case, then if Gamenio can really copy devil fruit without limit. To know, sometimes, although the power of devil fruit needs to be developed by itself, some devil fruits are different, such as ghost fruit, regression fruit, lucky fruit, childlike fruit, and fortress fruit. A devil fruit has innate power, and the acquired development may be stronger, but even if it is not developed, it will definitely not be weak. Because of this, such a devil fruit, as long as you are not an idiot, you will know that this is a very top devil fruit. And what if a top powerhouse like Gamenio ate such a devil fruit? That would be a very scary thing. Especially if it can be copied without limit. Then for Gamenio, the strength of the promotion of the Tao is too terrifying. Just thinking about it is to know what a terrible power this is, and if there is no preparation, then what kind of power will be paid? All of a sudden, everyone's expressions became solemn. He. A smile twitched at the corner of Alan's mouth, but he said casually, it seems that the strength shown by Carmenio has made everyone in this world feel a huge pressure. However, this is also it's the normal thing, after all. It would be strangest if you didn't feel a lot of pressure in the face of such an attack. 35. Quote. To know, it's getting more and more interesting. Alan said interestingly, what will be the next result that needs to be paid? Or, for them, what will the next result be? That's the most interesting thing, isn't it? After so many years, the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates has increased to an extremely terrifying level. If you are not careful, you will pay the price with your life. P.S. 5,000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. 5th update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. He. Alan finds it very interesting. I want to see for myself, as this war gradually unfolds, what will these people think when they truly see the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates? Alan's smile is very strong, and he finds it very interesting. The next results are destined to be very interesting things, even to say. Everything that follows will become very interesting. Chapter 240. No 3 Edward brothers. The same terrifying Whitebeard Pirates. Boom boom boom. Boom. The roar of artillery fire resounded, in a short period of time. With this endless roar, it seemed that everything was torn to pieces, and the roar of the entire battlefield was still resounding terrifyingly, but this battlefield nature has changed. For this sea, it seems that everything has changed, at this moment. Everyone's expressions are extremely solemn, and everyone who is watching this battle secretly is like this. They know that they are showing what comes out in everything in the future, is self-evident. Marco, Abel, Carmenio. The shots of the 3 people have also proved a lot of differences. It can be said that for this battlefield, the strength displayed by each person is undoubted, and the Whitebeard Pirates are more terrifying. The power of the Whitebeard Pirates seems to be telling everyone how terrifying the terror of the Whitebeard Pirates is. This is the most dignified thing. All the time, even if the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates is strong, they rely on the 3 Edward brothers. If one day, the 3 Edward brothers are not needed, when the owner is strong enough, then everything is completely different, even that is to say. For this sea, everything has changed, which means that this sea has changed. Boom, boom. The roar is still exploding, and everyone seems to be thinking about something. Marco, Abel, Carmenio, the former little devils, have they grown to this level? Alan, you, this guy, really can't have any carelessness, otherwise, with your strength, the next everything is going to be different. A very sharp light flashed in his eyes, and Akoku was thinking about something in his heart. Of course, Akoku knows that if he dares to make a bad hand in this battle, then it is estimated that he will die without knowing how to die, don't doubt it. This guy Alan will not have any mercy, not only Alan, including everyone else, everyone will not have any mercy. After all, in such a battlefield, if you dare to make a black hand, what will happen next? In fact, it is self-evident. You need to pay a huge price for this, even the price of your life. It is no exaggeration. Don't look at Alan for Atom Kingdom. If someone dares to shoot at Alan at this time, then, according to Alan's madman's character, do you think it is possible for this guy to turn around and shoot at you directly? It turns out that it is. Absolutely don't doubt it. Yes, Alan will definitely do it. This guy is a real lunatic. There will be no mercy in this regard, even to say. It will be very scary. And anyone who knows Alan is very clear about what kind of person Alan is. This man is definitely a very protective person. If you dare to take action against Laozi's people, then according to Laozi's character, it is absolutely I won't have any mercy on you, but I will definitely kill you without any hesitation. Snapped. In a short period of time, the entire battlefield seems to have changed. With the Whitebeard Pirates as the center, Marco, Abel, and Gamenio have gradually suppressed their opponents, and they have shown amazing performances. Strength. But this is not over yet. The next moment, a figure emerges. It is Bullet. The corners of Bullet's mouth grinned open, and a hideous smile emerged. The whole person's eyes were filled with only endless terror. It can be said, showing mercy without any emotion. Snapped. Bullet joined the battlefield step by step, and his terrifying strength was directly displayed, just like a devil, directly killing the quartet and directly entering the battlefield. The strongest fist. Death to Laozi. A bunch of rubbish. 5. Ha. With the crazy laughter and the roars, everyone seems to be different, and everything seems to have changed. At this moment, the expressions of everyone have become different, and everyone's breath has become more and more terrifying, even to say. What makes people feel is only endless fear. Short time. These terrifying forces are too terrifying to make people feel. If such a force really breaks out, what will be the result? And for this world, in Marco, Abel, after Carmenio, the 4th monster of the new generation with terrifying strength was branded in his eyes. Bullet is also an equally terrifying monster. He has shown a very strong strength, which makes everyone dignified, and he does not dare to have any careless terrifying strength. It can be seen just from here. How powerful is Bullet? Crackling. Boom. The power of Bullet's double fists is extremely terrifying. Like a monster, it swept the entire battlefield crazily, making people feel only endless fear. The level of imagination is too strong. It really seems to have reached invincibility. It can be said, the pressure displayed by each of the previous 3 people is not at the same level compared to Bullet. The pressure displayed by Bullet is the most terrifying. It is a real sense of oppression that comes from the soul and from the heart, and it really makes people feel endless pressure. That kind of terrifying and oppressive feeling of punching to the flesh, as if people saw the second Alan, really did not dare to have any carelessness. That kid, he's like a second Alan. What? It's really disgusting. The big people watching the battle, at this moment, their expressions are abnormally ugly, obviously. For them, it seems that they never thought that at the end of the battle, the result would be like this, and the final result it turned out to be like this. This is something that everyone has never thought of, it is too strong. In other words, the strength shown by Bullet really gives people a familiar feeling. That is the same feeling as the second Alan, and facing such a person is absolutely unacceptable to everyone, and this is the most terrifying thing. After all, the Whitebeard Pirates are getting more and more terrifying. They are getting stronger and stronger. If they continue, what will the result be? Actually, this is self-evident. If it continues, Whitebeard, the strength of the pirate group, will become more and more terrifying. If it continues, the result will be the most terrifying for the entire sea. Because the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates is simply too strong. It has become so strong that it makes people feel endlessly terrified. It can be said that whether it is admitted or denied, everyone has gradually felt that the Whitebeard Pirates, the strength has gradually reached a more and more terrifying level. This level is no longer the level of a simple ordinary pirate group, but is no less than the level of the Rocks Pirate. Even though the Whitebeard Pirates haven't fully grown yet, but in terms of strength, this is too scary. If it really grows up to the level of the Rocks Pirate, it's too scary. But the fact is that the current Whitebeard Pirates are growing very fast, and as long as they really grow up, they will be the terrifying monsters that surpass the Rocks Pirate. Anyone who understands this strength is very clear how terrifying this is. Alan, Newgate, Kaido, the three Edward brothers need no more words. What about other than that? As long as they are not idiots, they have already discovered that Marco, Abel, Carmenio, and Bullet have all shown great potential. As long as there are no accidents in the future, is it Admiral level strength? This is absolutely unnecessary. Doubtful things. Other than that, among the people that everyone does not know, Tiger, Gion, Little Oz, and Teach, these four people have the same strength, it can be said. If it is really comparable to the strength of the Admiral class, then according to now the power of the Whitebeard Pirates, as long as they grow up, can gradually surpass the Rocks Pirate. But this is just the transcendence of the top-level combat power. If you want a perfect transcendence, you still need a complete improvement. This is also a very important thing. Back then, the Rocks Pirate was the strongest in the world, and the Invincible force swept the whole world. Next, Whitebeard Pirate, the group also needs to do this step, and that is the most important thing. Aisha and Lisa, the two sisters, watched the battle carefully. Although the sisters were very far apart, they were still very nervous and very careful, for fear of any accident. After all, it is not that they can participate in it, and they will die if they are not careful. He. As for standing beside the two sisters, he said gently, Aisha, Lisa, don't worry, there is a gravitational layer arranged by my father here, and there will be no problems. We won't have any accidents. Okay, Gion-san. 9. Gion looked at these two cute little girls and shook her head gently. They are really two very cute little girls. Aisha and Lisa have very innocent personalities, and the two sisters seem to be too like a cute little doll. The darkness above the sea is really full of tenderness and light. 0. For flowers. Maybe. This is the fundamental reason, precisely because the two younger sisters are too bright and gentle, and with the accident of such a younger sister, for Teach, he couldn't bear it at all, so he completely chose his own terrifying ambition, and the possibility of this is indeed very high. Gion is also very gentle, for so many years. He has been taking care of little girls, and the little girls such as Hiwa, Yamato, Aisha, and Lisa are all taken care of by themselves, and they are all very cute, it is undeniable. Gion also really likes and cares for these sisters. And Gion really felt that these two children are too gentle, they are not suitable for stepping into this dangerous sea. It is undeniable that their aptitude is not weak, even strong, but even so, although their aptitude is not weak, the essence of each of them is different, and this is the fundamental reason. Because of this, both sisters feel their weakness and need to grow up. This is not a joke, but a real need to come from the heart, grow very seriously, and grow up step by step. This is also a very important thing, isn't it? It can be said, this is a very important thing. And Gion does not want the two sisters to join the battle, even if they have potential, but in terms of pure strength, there is no shortage of these two children. Gion has more, I hope they are safe. On the other side, Teach said excitedly, Uncle, Dad, third uncle, can I become so strong in the future? I also want to be the same as my brothers, I can become the top of the sea. Oh, strong man. Ooh, Newgate laughed proudly. Isn't this a matter of course? As a member of our Whitebeard Pirates, it is a matter of course to have such strength, Teach. You must work hard, you little brat. In this way, your strength will be the biggest improvement. Yes. 99. Teach also nodded excitedly, while Kaido asked casually, Teach, why do you want strength? Why? Teach grinned and said seriously, Uncle Third, I want to protect my family. I have lost my former family, I lost my mother, and almost lost my sister. Because of my uncle, I saved my life. Everything, and now, I have a new uncle, father, uncle, brothers, sisters, and I have the Moby Dick family. I must be better protect your family. Teach's words are very serious and full of endless firmness. It can be said that Teach really looks very firm, and he is full of firmness in his heart. For Teach, he is very clear that this is his own family. And this is the last time I have my own family. If I give up my family, what will my future be like? Actually, Teach can't even imagine it. For Teach, he can't give up his relatives, and he can't give up all of this. This is the most unacceptable thing for Teach. For Teach is it is clear that my family have all this once again. He. Alan looked at Teach, with a smile on the corner of his mouth, and said lightly, "Stinky boy. Then you have to be more serious. After all, you don't have enough strength, but you can't protect your family. Yes, uncle. 35. Teach nodded earnestly, his eyes were filled with endless firmness, while Alan shook his head with a smile. Sure enough. With his own changes, many people have changed. Gamenio, Bullet, Teach. Individuals are like that. Teach's ambition has disappeared without a trace. For the current Teach, all ambitions are meaningless things, only family is the most important thing, and if there is no family, everything it's all nonsense. That's what Teach thinks. Maybe. For Teach, this is the idea of the next life. He values his family, and he is surrounded by his family. He will never give up. Sitting on the side and sitting cross-legged, little Oz at this time, he said in a muffled and unhappy voice, "Uncle. Dad, third uncle, why am I not participating in the battle all the time?" Alas. 99. Little Oz let out a helpless sigh, and really felt very helpless. Every time he was unable to participate in the battle. P.S. 5,000-word chapter. Daily 6 updates. 6th update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. Chapter 241. The familiar Whitebeard Pirates. Boom, boom, boom. The endless roar resounded wildly, accompanied by a deafening roar, and all this broke out in a short period of time. Marco, Abel, Carmenio, and Bullet were just 4 people with the remaining Joe. Z, Beasta, Jinbei. And many more. The combination of everyone. The burst of strength is very terrifying. This kind of strength is really too terrifying, and this kind of terrifying speed is too amazing. Everything is too fast, it can be said. If this continues, the next what will be the result? In fact, it is self-evident. In the absence of the 3 captains' shots, the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates has reached an unparalleled level. Just looking at it seems to have a different idea. Too strong. Too strong. Strong. It is too strong. This power, is this the power of the Whitebeard Pirates? Yes, it's like an invincible monster. 99. 99. Such a statement has been discussed all over the world, and looking at this familiar Whitebeard pirate, everyone seems to have a different idea. It has become different, and that feeling is really wonderful, even to say. It has become very strange, and so does everyone. Rocks Pirate, Whitebeard Pirates, picture. It's so similar, it's not an exaggeration to say that they are exactly the same, as if they appeared from a mold, at this moment. The spirit of the Whitebeard Pirates, at this moment, the Whitebeard Pirates, the power displayed is really like the Rocks Pirate back then. 957. For many people, maybe they don't have any feeling, after all. For them, they don't know what happened, but, for more people, at this moment, they are all caught up in a kind of silence. 10 years. Is it long? It's not very long, but, in these 10 years, what will happen next? Actually, many people have forgotten everything in the past, but, for the same part of people, it is impossible to forget everything that once happened, even if they don't want to mention it again, but this really does not mean that they have forgotten everything that once happened. That era called Rocks Pirate. The terrifying existence that represents the invincible power, rules the entire sea with its own power, and can even challenge the majesty of the world government, that is Rocks Pirate. And today, right now, these people seem to be in a trance, and they have a different feeling when they look at the Whitebeard Pirates, as if the two sides are too similar. Just like, they have also become Rocks Pirate, just like the previous Rocks Pirate, it is also full of potential, equally high-spirited, and equally crazy. The same. There is a terrifying powerhouse who can rule the world, and all this is too familiar, it is like a feeling of déjà vu, so many people have a feeling of being in a trance, just because it is too much familiar. Woo. Some people couldn't help but let out a deep breath and fell into a kind of silence. For a short time, they didn't know what to say. They could only watch quietly. The feeling of being in a trance made people feel I really feel silent, I don't know how to think about it, or say. What will happen next? At this moment, everyone feels this way, it's really very silent. With the silent sigh, I don't know when it started, everyone feels this way, and it also makes people feel very silent, it is really an unparalleled feeling of silence. Quietly closed my eyes, and this feeling is the most strange thing, and because of this is the most strange thing. And because of this, everyone is like this, and what will be the result of each day? And this is the most silent thing. Or, what will the next result be? What? No one knows. Maybe. It's like that feeling of déjà vu, that kind of feeling of silence, and quietly watching everything in front of you. That kind of feeling like watching the birth of Rock's pirate with your own eyes, but it's like they were back then seeing the birth of the Rock's pirate with their own eyes, and to this day. They are still only able to see the birth of the Whitebeard Pirates with their own eyes, and all this. It is not something they can stop. This is the most hopeless thing, isn't it? Obviously. They look at all this, but they want to change. They want to stop, but they can't do it at all. This is the most desperate thing. This is the most helpless thing. Quietly lowered head, everyone's expression is full of endless calm. That different feeling really makes people have a weird feeling that. Woo. And Alan let out a faint puff of smoke. While looking at everything in front of him, he thought a little, what will the next result be? Who knows? Listening to the elder brother's words, Newgate shook his head and said casually, brother. Obviously, there is a problem with the current situation of Atom Kingdom, and the overall strength is a huge problem. In this case, there are many situations to come. The problem. Indeed. Kaido also nodded seriously and said, big brother. The strength of Atom Kingdom is too strong, so powerful that it makes people feel weird. Can their country explode with such a powerful force? This power is indeed too much. Terrifying. It even makes people feel terrified. To know, Whitebeard Pirates, Flying Sky Pirates, Big Mom Pirates, Burndy Pirates, Chef Pirates, Five Peaks Pirates, John Pirates, Silver Axe Pirates. 8 top pirate groups in New World have joined forces, and under such circumstances, what will be the power that will erupt next? Actually, this has already reached a self-evident thing, even saying. It has reached an extremely terrifying level, although it is said. The 8 pirate groups all held back a little, and the captain didn't even make a move. But it's just a very terrifying force if only cadres and personnel take action. 3. Why is the whole world staring at them? I don't want Rock's pirate to appear again. The reason is very simple, because, together, they can make Rock's pirate explode with more terrifying power than ever, and in such a situation next, what is the next result? In fact, it is already self-evident. You matter. It can be said, now this result is the most unimaginable thing. And in this war, the kingdom of Atom has shown such terrifying power, facing everyone with its own strength, it is not at all. Do not fall behind, and such power. It is the most frightening. Isn't it? Brush. Baloric's whale head fell on the Moby Dick, looking at everything in front of him, he said calmly, it seems that something different has indeed happened. Atom's kingdom is very strong. Alan, do you have any ideas? What are your thoughts? Wow. The wind was screeching around the captain's coat, and Alan put his hands in his pockets and said casually, who knows? There is no idea, the strength of Atom's kingdom is beyond doubt. You know, our joint effort is nothing. There is nothing to hide, and the kingdom of Atom naturally knows. In this case, in the case of knowing. However, people have no intention of asking for help or hiding. 39. If that's the case, what does it mean? Strength. Kaido's mouth widened, and he said savagely, obviously. It's all about strength. This is a very interesting thing. I'm really looking forward to how powerful the entire Atom Kingdom is, and what exactly do they have? Such strength. 35. He. A hideous and cruel smile emerged, and this is the most interesting thing, isn't it? This is the strength of Atom's kingdom. Obviously, he has absolute confidence, and for everything that will happen next, he will with absolute certainty, even with his own strength, he can behead the opponent, that is. There is absolutely no doubt about it. This is the confidence of Atom Kingdom, and under such confidence, isn't this war more and more interesting? Humph. The corners of Baloric's mouth twitched, and he said interestingly, if that's the case, then things are getting more and more interesting. Atom Kingdom has shown such amazing strength, what will be the next result? In fact, this is the only way it's the most interesting thing, isn't it? That's true. 99. Listening to Baloric's words, Newgate nodded and said, however, this is not a strange thing for Atom Kingdom. Above this sea, among the superpowers that exist, except for Elbaf Giant Kingdom, Atom Kingdom is also a country that has existed for thousands of years. And what kind of strength does such a country have? Is it a normal thing too? That's true. Baloric nodded in agreement with this, which is true. It is undeniable that the kingdom of Atom is very strong. This is a time that has existed for more than 800 years, in other words, in the world of world government before, this was the country that already existed. And under such circumstances, what will the next result be? In fact, it is self-evident. This is the power of Atom Kingdom, especially the old monster Atom, who uses his special devil fruit ability, survived, and how many years did this old monster live? In fact, no one. Exclamation mark. But what is certain is that in this long period of time, the strength of this old monster may not become stronger and stronger, but the strength of Atom Kingdom will definitely become stronger and stronger. Isn't this a matter of course? Obviously. It's a no-brainer. And with the passage of time, everything will continue. This is the inevitable result. This is the accumulation of information. When the accumulation of information is more and more, then, in terms of overall strength, and all aspects will become more and more terrifying. 0. He. The corners of Alan's mouth grinned, and a funny smile appeared, and he lit a cigarette and said in a funny way, "You are right, but I am not interested in these things, I am more interested in, what is the strength of this old guy Adam?" Or, Alan's eyes flickered with a terrifying and eerie light, and he said fiercely, "What will the strength of this guy be next? This is really interesting. Really interesting. Interesting. Really, it's so exciting." Under such circumstances, Alan finds it very interesting. And what is the next result? This is the most important thing, isn't it? It can be said, under such a result, the power that erupted, only it is the most terrifying and most terrifying power. It can be said, everything that follows is already right in front of you. This is the strength of Atom Kingdom, and it will continue to erupt into even more terrifying power, and this power is the most terrifying power, this is absolutely beyond doubt. 35. As that old guy's strength. Barorik also raised his head, with sharp eyes, he had already seen that Adam could not see at all, but was quietly looking at the figure on the battlefield in front of him, that handsome young man, at this moment, was watching this. The battlefield, and the bursting out of these forces is the most terrifying, isn't it? Or, such a result is the most terrifying result. And what will happen next? What will it be? Actually, this is the most terrifying thing. And the next result, or, it has already represented this everything, and all this, the power that is about to erupt, is the most terrifying power. The corners of Alan's mouth twitched, and he said interestingly, that old guy is just standing there, but he also showed his terrifying strength, which is really exciting. What is the strength of such an old guy? He. Alan's smile can be said to be very strong, and even more interesting. What will the next result be? Actually, this is beyond doubt. This is the strength of Adam's kingdom, horror. Powerful 5.9. Actually, Alan is very clear that many people selectively ignore the kingdom of Adam, because how powerful is the kingdom of Adam? He is also a superpower. And such a superpower is not a problem, is it not? But one thing you need to be clear about is, what kind of strength does such a strong person possess? In fact, it is self-evident. If it continues, then the strength of Adam's kingdom is getting stronger and stronger. Strong, especially, they are completely loyal to Adam, the king, without any feelings of their own. They will be the biggest terror, just no one thinks about it, or no one wants to think about it. In everyone's eyes, the biggest danger is the Whitebeard Pirates, because in their eyes, they are in the Whitebeard Pirates saw the shadow of the Rock's pirate. Therefore, for them, this is absolutely unacceptable. Just kidding, that's the Rock's pirate. For this sea, anyone can be resurrected, but once the Rock's. Absolutely. No more allowed once resurrected, this is absolutely not allowed, they will not allow the once terrifying monster to be resurrected again. This war has only just begun, but many people are already planning to target the Whitebeard Pirates. But no matter what, Alan doesn't care at all, and wants to target the Whitebeard Pirates. Yes, come on, take it out, come to your strength. Otherwise, Laozi will not be merciful. And Laozi is not afraid of any challenge. P.S. 5,000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. First update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. Chapter 242. Newgate. Kaido. 2 people shot. Challenge. Against. Stop it. For Alan, this is like a joke. When will Alan be afraid of these? Stop it. No matter what time, Alan has never been afraid of these, and he will never any fear. This is not a joke. It is a real fact, after all. For Alan, his own strength does not need to be doubted, and since this is the case, then he is not afraid of any challenge and wants to fight. Come on. Let Laozi take a look. What is your strength? This is Alan's attitude. Alan will never have any fear. If you like it, then come to a fight. I won't be afraid at all. Let me see your strength. If your strength is not enough, then I'm sorry. Laozi will not show mercy. Edward Allen. This is a monster called a demon, or even a monster. A monster called a devil, and such a monster, do you think he would be afraid of challenges? Afraid of targeting? I can only say, this is just a joke, and this kind of joke, you only need to know a little about it, but it's just a joke. Woo. A puff of smoke was exhaled, and a smile formed on the corner of Alan's mouth, very casual, full of indifference, if you take a look. It's almost the same, the current result is probably like this, and it doesn't seem like it will continue. May continue. 35. What? That's right. Newgate also grinned and said interestingly, brother. Not only do some people think it's impossible to continue. Also, someone has been eyeing us. It looks like a very scary guy. These 2 guys, but staring at us stubbornly. Alan nodded casually and said, I found 2 rubbish guys, you don't need to pay too much attention to them, but what about these 2 guys? If nothing else, they were the 2 behind the scenes at Black Shadow Island. That's all, but they're still 2 wastes, don't need to take it too seriously. 5. That's right. 9. Indeed. Newgate and Kaido are also full of endless disdain. 06, no joke. Or, for the 3 brothers, they really look down on these 2 people, it is undeniable. Maybe the two of them the strength is not bad, but no matter how powerful they are still weak. This is absolutely beyond doubt. As for the reason, it's actually very simple. They are too weak. They are simply weak people who don't need to be looked down upon. 11 years have passed since the incident on Shadow Island, and during this long period of time among them, these guys don't even dare to shoot. Stop making trouble. It's just like a joke, and because of this, such a result simply doesn't need to be taken into account. For such garbage, anyway, 3 people don't care at all. When you lose even the courage to be a strong person, all your actions are too weak. This is not worth mentioning at all. After all, facing such a weak person, what do you have thinking? Don't make trouble. You really don't need to pay attention to this kind of garbage, because this kind of garbage is too weak, so weak that it makes people feel boring. No matter how powerful it is meaningless. You have lost the courage that you should have as a strong person. There is no doubt. Or, this is a matter of course. Words. Obviously. This is no longer needed. Quietly watching the battlefield in front of him, and as the battlefield has become more and more intense, everyone is actually very clear that this battle has ended. It is not like this, it is about to. Those big men are going to fight. Array entered. Boom boom boom. Boom. The roar of artillery fire resounded, and with this terrifying roar, in a short period of time, it seemed to destroy everything, and this was really too fast, and in this short period of time, all these everything, but also to destroy everything, and this war has completely fallen into the white-hot stage. And as this war has reached such a terrifying level, in a short period of time, everyone has a very strange feeling, because it feels too strange, as if something strange happened. This is not it's a joke, it's a real fact, there is no doubt. This power, or rather, the holder of this power is extremely powerful, and this is something that does not need to be doubted. Goo la la la. Newgate took this heroically, the corners of his mouth grinned, and he said savagely, the kingdom of Adam really has amazing strength. However, it doesn't matter. I don't take these things in my eyes, and I'll go on next, but I want to see, what will the next result be? 55. Humph. Newgate's sharp eyes stared at the terrifying scene in front of him, especially when he walked out step by step. The terrifying guy was like a monster, and it was full of terrifying killing intent. There is no doubt about it, there is no need to doubt it at all. Obviously, the other party has already been staring at him, and the other party seems to want to kill him directly, no matter what. Newgate will never admit his mistake, and precisely because he will not admit his mistake, Newgate is the feeling very interesting. The corners of his mouth grinned, and he said cruelly, just right. Let Laozi come to see how strong you guys are. If you dare to look at Laozi like this, then you will have to pay the price for your eyes. Search. Licking the corner of his mouth slightly, Newgate held Kong Yunchi, and suddenly, a knife fell from top to bottom, and a terrifying light burst out from his eyes, and the breath at this moment seemed to be like a mine. In general, everything is torn apart in an instant. Kong Yun cut air shock cut. 35. And with the roar of Newgate, one thing has been proved. That is the war, which has completely entered the white-hot stage. This is absolutely no doubt. What will the next war be like? In fact, there is no doubt about it, isn't it? Hee hee. With the entry of these monsters, no matter how much the kingdom of Adam has, it is actually meaningless. After all, in the face of such monsters, if you can't show the absolute in terms of strength, then it is a meaningless thing. These monsters are not the so-called background or something that can be killed. Humph. In the face of Newgate's attack, a terrifying killing intent appeared in the eyes of one of the men in the suit. Suddenly, he jumped up and clenched his fist with one hand, and the terrifying punch fell directly, in an instant. As if the sky was torn apart. Crackling. Terrifying streaks of dark purple thunder light crazily entwined on it. It was a terrifying force. What exactly does this force represent? In fact, it is self-evident. The terrifying power has proved everything. This person's armament hockey is extremely terrifying. If you don't have enough strength, just facing such an armament hockey, you won't even have the strength to fight back. Boom, boom. The roar of a punch fell, and in an instant, under the terrifying attack of his punch, the entire Newgate attack was completely shattered, and Newgate's knife was cut off in an instant, and the next moment is to retreat quickly, while the man in the jet black suit is quickly bullying up, extremely fast. Crackling. The astonishing offensive of the punch has fallen, obviously. This is a pure physique-type powerhouse. The power of this punch is very terrifying, and there is no intention of showing mercy. It can be said that it is extremely ruthless. Goo la la la. It is good. Newgate felt this terrifying power, but after laughing loudly, the corners of his mouth grinned grimly. His expression seemed to be in a state of madness. He raised his hand and threw Kong Yunchi on the ground. He turned to one side, clenched his fists with both hands, and faced the man directly. Crackling. Crackling. The offensive of the two is more and more terrifying, and the battle between the two is also more and more terrible. In such a battle, what will the next result be? In fact, there is no doubt about it. This time and again under the offensive, in an instant, it seems that everything is destroyed, and under such an offensive, the next result is absolutely beyond doubt. A short period of time. Under this amazing offensive, it seems that everything is swallowed up, it is too fast. It is too terrifying. Or, the speed of all this happening is too fast soon, and at this extremely fast and amazing speed, what will be the next result? In fact, it is self-evident. The strength displayed by Newgate is also very terrifying. When a punch falls, the two of them are without any hesitation. Every punch is dropped against the other's head, and there is only one purpose, that is to take the other's life. This is the only result. Crackling. Crackling. In a short period of time, under this amazing offensive, the attack that broke out in an instant has made everyone seem to be bursting in an instant. This is really too fast. It has reached the level that people can't even notice it. This speed is too amazing. Not only that, but Newgate has the power of shock fruit attached to his fist. Every blow is extremely terrifying. Broken like. Boom. Boom. Amidst the rapid roar and explosion, the two separated instantly, staring at each other, with only extremely terrifying fighting intent in their eyes, no sign of mercy at all, and full of proud gestures it can be said. For these two people, they have no hesitation. The next moment, they go straight to each other again. This battle is just the beginning, and it is not over yet. Edward Newgate, Whitebeard, the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, and the number 2 character of the Whitebeard Pirates, as expected. He is also the owner of extremely terrifying strength, such a monster can't be careless, otherwise. The result is also very scary. Yes, the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates has indeed become more and more terrifying. You must not be too careless and let your guard down. 35. Everyone's expressions are very solemn, because they are very clear, no matter what. It is absolutely impossible to relax their vigilance, and they must not have any carelessness. The strength of the Whitebeard Pirates is too strong. It has really reached a shocking level. And at such a level, what will the next strength be like? This is the most terrifying thing. Isn't it? The battle between the two is still continuing, not only that. As the battle between the two became more and more intense, the overall strength of the two has been greatly improved. Under such circumstances, the explosive combat effectiveness, what will the result be? I don't know, but the terrifying destructive force has covered everything around. Boom. Boom. The battle between the two continued, and the other was already eyeing Kaido. Worororo. Kaido was laughing excitedly, carrying a mace, and said with endless arrogance, Hey. Hey, are you rubbish going to target Laozi? Come on. Then let Laozi take a look, what is your strength? Don't let Laozi down. Otherwise, Laozi will feel very boring. 960. The corners of his mouth grinned. Kaido's fighting intent was extremely terrifying, and it was filled with endless arrogant notes. Facing his opponent. Sorry, Kaido is not afraid at all. In the eyes of the same, such an opponent. Do you have to make yourself absolutely serious? Stop it. This is absolutely impossible. Kaido is simply impossible to do such a thing. This is absolutely unrealistic. Kaido simply looks down on this guy. After all, although the strength of this guy seems really very good, yes, but does he deserve to be called a powerhouse? It's like nonsense. At least, Kaido doesn't like this guy. This guy looks like he has good strength, but that's probably the case. It's not worth mentioning at all. The reason is very simple. Still the same sentence, the Sombra organization and Sombra Island were destroyed by their brothers and others 11 years ago, and the result? It takes time now to get revenge. What does this mean? For their own strength, it is even said that there is no absolute self-confidence. Because of this, there is really no need to pay attention to such a guy. It is too weak, and it is not worth mentioning at all. You don't need to pay attention to such a weak person, anyway. For Kaido and the others, this is nothing worth mentioning. If you come. So, Kaido just thinks such a guy is an insult to himself. Next. 35. Come on. 35. Let me see, how did you die? Worororo. The corners of Kaido's mouth grinned open, and a hideous smile appeared, and the whole person was like a cruel evil spirit. That terrifying gesture made people feel only endless fear, and at this moment, Kaido exuded more courage than Newgate is even more terrifying. It's not that Kaido's strength is stronger than Newgate's, it's just. Compared to Newgate, Kaido is the real hockey's monster. Edward Kaido. This is a real monster, or rather. Over the years, Kaido's strength has been improved again and again, especially after the integration of the dragon spell. Kaido's bloodline seems to have been incomparably improved, and it's the most terrifying thing. It's the most terrifying thing, isn't it? Obviously. There is no doubt about it, this is Kaido's invincible strength. It is absolutely unparalleled horror, and there is absolutely no need to doubt it, this is an absolutely terrible powerhouse. P.S. 5,000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. Second update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. Chapter 243. This is the Invincible Whitebeard Pirates. Thunder 8 trigrams. Kaido never shows mercy when he strikes, and there is a hideous smile on the corner of his mouth. Armament hockey. Conqueror's hockey. Wrapping and covering. Under the power of the two hockeys, a terrifying afterimage crossed in an instant. Boom. The astonishing roar exploded in an instant, and all directions shattered at the same time. Facing this seemingly invincible force, there was simply no way to do it. It could only be passively endured, and people couldn't help but narrow their eyes. The power is really too powerful, and it makes people feel extremely terrifying, and even seems to be invincible. Crackling, crackling, and one after another thunder burst in all directions, and Kaido's mouth grinned, and said interestingly, "You rubbish. It seems that the strength is not bad. It actually blocked Laozi's attack, but a guy like you is destined to be trash. I don't look down on a guy like you at all. Next. Let me see you. What is your strength?" A terrifying cold light appeared in his eyes, and the terrifying killing intent burst out in an instant. It can be said, Kaido's killing intent is absolutely terrifying, and even has no intention of showing mercy. This terrible battle intention and killing intent. At this moment, it can be said that it is vividly displayed in a short period of time. Of course, Kaido still looks down on this guy, it's not for any reason, the second is that he really looks down on him. For such a guy who dares not even take revenge, do you think people like Kaido might look down on such a guy? Don't make trouble now, it's absolutely possible. It's impossible for Kaido to despise such a guy, and he despised such a guy from the heart and soul. For Kaido, such a guy is like a joke. If you put such a guy in your eyes, it is like a joke. The corner of his mouth opened a hideous smile. Kaido stepped out the next moment, the whole person was already it turned into an afterimage. King Kong, Dysprosium. Kaido's eyes shrank, and in an instant, the chi of the mace burst out, and under this terrifying offensive, everything in all directions seemed to be swallowed up and waited for you. In a short time, this burst of power is really too terrifying, as if it has reached invincibility, it has completely swallowed up his opponent. Humph. The opponent also snorted coldly, holding a knife in one hand, and a terrifying killing intent burst out. As one of the two kings of Shadow Island, his strength is not weak at all, and he is also a real admiral-level powerhouse. Just like the disdain of the three brothers Alan, Newgate and Kaido, are they very strong for them? Maybe so, but in the eyes of their brothers and others, they are really worthless at all. Just mention it. Too weak, too weak, too weak. Garbage like you, even the belief that belongs to the strong can't help giving up, and what is the result of this? In fact, it is self-evident. This is something that doesn't need to be doubted, let alone hesitant. The opponent's strength is strong enough, but what do you need to do? You don't even dare to resist. In other words, the courage to be a strong person has disappeared. This is meaningless. Boom, boom. Hearing the roaring sound in his ears explode, and Alan's expression is only very calm, just quietly looking at the battlefield, looking around, his eyes are filled with endless indifference, he doesn't care about all this at all, the smile on the corner of his mouth is even very strong. Huh, a wisp of smoke spit out, Alan thought for a moment, in terms of pure strength. You guys are really good, but unfortunately, you guys don't deserve to be called strong. Forget it, defeat such an opponent. For the second and third children, it is too easy, after all. Such rubbish. Shaking his head indifferently, Alan really doesn't care, or that sentence. Although they are said to be strong, they have lost the most fundamental core of the strong, or rather. Their mentality is no longer qualified to be called strong for such a guy, everything is meaningless. Uncle, Little Oz sat cross-legged on the ground, watching Marco, Abel, Carmenio, and Bullet really kill the quartet. With a very powerful appearance, he said with admiration, "Why, I can't participate in battle." Little Oz doesn't understand. Why can't he participate in the battle? At this moment, Little Oz really feels very helpless. Even more, he feels very headache, he really doesn't know what to say something. He. Listening to the words of Little Oz, Alan said seriously, "Little Oz. If I can't learn the two-color hockey, I will never allow you to enter the battlefield in my life." 39. Alan's tone is very serious, obviously. It's not a joke, that's right. Alan didn't mean to joke. Just kidding, he couldn't joke about this matter at all, although Little Oz said he was tall, the owner of the giant family certainly invincible power. But, as long as he is not an idiot, he has found a problem, that is, Little Oz is actually an ordinary person. That is to say, ordinary flesh and blood. In the Summit War in the original book, Little Oz faced the attack of the strong, and he had nothing at all. Perhaps the so-called shells have no effect at all. But for Little Oz, this is beyond doubt. The attack of the strong will directly kill Little Oz. And this is Alan's training for Little Oz. If this little guy's strength is not enough, then he is absolutely not allowed to participate in any war, especially the two-color hockey. If he has not understood it, it is absolutely not allowed. Obviously, this is what happened to Little Oz, and this is the fundamental reason Alan will never change. It's not a joke. It's a real fact. It's not a joke, it's the truth. Little Oz is strong. There is no need to doubt it. Especially under Alan's teaching, especially after keeping up with nutrition, Little Oz's height and weight are increasing layer by layer, and his strength is also increasing crazily. If you look at the muscles on his body, you can see that the original Little Oz was covered with layers of fat, but now. No kidding. Little Oz's body is full of horrible muscles, which can be seen from here. Come out, how amazing the strength of Little Oz is. This is the improvement of Little Oz's strength, which is absolutely no doubt. But, this is also a very key, and a very important point, that little Oz has not yet comprehended the two-color hockey. Actually, observation hockey is easy to say, but, for armament hockey, it is completely different. Armament hockey possesses the most terrifying power, and this is the most important thing. In other words, armament hockey is very important in terms of offense and defense. Otherwise, if you haven't covered armament hockey, then you will be just an ordinary person for the rest of your life. All of this is completely meaningless. Just like at this moment, the power of armament hockey, no matter how powerful it is. In the battle of the powerful, the importance of armament hockey is something that does not need to be doubted. Therefore, and if he couldn't use armament hockey proficiently, Alan would never allow Little Oz to join the battlefield. It's because Little Oz's body is too huge, and with such a huge body, it is very troublesome to develop armament hockey. Armament hockey is the strength of the body, and if the density of the body is 1, then it is easy to develop armament hockey, but if the physical quality of a person is born with 10,000, then it is necessary to develop armament hockey, a troublesome thing, even to say. It's extremely difficult, it's nothing to be exaggerated, that's it. It's not really a joke, it's a real fact. After all, when a person's physical quality and all aspects really reach a very terrifying level, what will be the next result? Actually, this is something that does not need to be doubted. The stronger the body, the more for the giant, the more difficult it is to use armament hockey, especially for the demons of the ancient giants. Of course, this is only relative, and Little Oz can also do it. He has gradually reached a critical point. As long as he can break through this critical point, then he can truly comprehend and master armament hockey, which is definitely a very important thing. Because of this, Little Oz definitely wants to exert this power perfectly, otherwise, everything is meaningless. Woo, 39. He let out a deep breath, and Alan said seriously, Little Oz, you remember it for Laozi. This is the basis of your participation in the battle, otherwise, I absolutely won't allow it. Okay, Uncle. 99. Little Oz bowed his head obediently, and he also knew that the uncle is for his own good, although he looks silly. But it does not mean that he has no brains. Little Oz is very clear that the uncle will not pay him back. Everything must be for your own good. Only, some things are like this, there are so easy things. Even if you clearly know that the uncle is for your own good, Little Oz still wants to participate in the battle. He has strengthened his heart and must be faster realizing armament hockey. This is definitely the most important thing for me. Absolutely. Little Oz couldn't help clenching his fists. Years. Looking at Little Oz's heart, Alan nodded. In fact, Little Oz has gradually reached a critical point in armament hockey, in other words. That is, basically has gradually broken through, and this what is needed is the last step, and as long as this step is crossed, then it is natural to realize armament hockey. Only, for a long time, there has been no huge pressure for Little Oz to truly break through this. Now it is different. Little Oz needs to really improve his strength. Only in this way can he truly break the limit. Furthermore, this is the most important thing. Taking a deep breath, Little Oz looked at the battlefield in front of him seriously and strengthened his beliefs. And in the battlefield at this moment, boom, boom. The roar is resounding, and the three of Marco, Abel, and Carmenio are flying high, and they are incarnated in the sky as real war robots, attacking frantically, and in such an attack below, the next attack is definitely the most terrifying. Freedom, die, humph. And with the explosion of such a roar, the three people's offensive also became more and more terrifying. As for Bullet, that is not to mention. Bullet's character is like this, it is a real monster-like character. It can be said that it is not at all. Just kidding. Bullet is like a terrifying monster, but he will never be merciful when he strikes, it really won't be any mercy. Crackling. With Bullet's offensive like a god of war, the entire battlefield seems to have become Bullet's personal show, at the same time. Joes, Quinn, Beasta, Brahmank and others. Everyone has already joined the battlefield, and the strength displayed by each of them is very amazing. Brush. The two figures crossed at an extremely fast speed, both holding double knives, and these two people are Beasta and Saki, back to back, facing their opponents, both with a confident smile. The weapons of the two are very special. The double swords in Sachi's hands are two Tianyu feather slashes, that's right. Because Kazuki Oden came from the future, there actually appeared two Yanmo and two Tianyu feather slashes. And the two Tianyu Yuzhin became Sachi's saber, and Beasta's saber became two Yanmo. Under Yanmo's oppression, Beasta's strength is also increasing crazily at a speed visible to the naked eye. This is not a joke. It's a real fact. Beasta's strength is increasing very quickly. It can be said, Beasta, Joes, and Quinn all have the ability to go further, that is, to break through to the Admiral level, but this is not so easy, after all. If a person wants to break his own limit, there is so much tolerance there. King Nuo's Yi thing. Obviously this is impossible. Because of this, although the strength of Beasta and Joes is powerful, but it is definitely not unparalleled. There is no doubt about this. The strength of the two is terrifying, but it will definitely not be unparalleled. It can be said, the Whitebeard Pirates already have an invincible prototype. And they are rapidly improving. This is the most terrifying thing, isn't it? But Beasta is different. He has dual Yanmo, and Yanmo is a very terrifying and dangerous famous sword, which will automatically absorb the user's haki and release it. And under such power, he can play. There is no doubt about the power of Beasta, and because of this, the terrifying power and oppression. Beasta's strength needs to be improved again and again, and must be improved again and again, otherwise, Beasta will be defeated. And he will die very miserably, because of this. This is the fundamental reason why Beasta's strength has increased so quickly. And if Beasta wants to break through such a limit, then he has to break his own limit. This is not an easy thing, even to say. This is a very difficult thing. If everyone can break through themselves the limit, then everything seems to be easier. Therefore, this is the most important, the most crucial, the most fundamental core. P.S. 5,000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. Third update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. All this is the most important thing. Everyone is very clear about this. See. This is the fundamental core. This is absolutely beyond doubt. Life. And after having a gravity training room, such a breakthrough is also possible. Or, it is no longer so difficult. This point, as long as it is not an idiot, it is very clear. Chapter 244. Adam's Pursuit. Go further. Invincible. The strongest. What an intoxicating word this is. But sometimes, whether you want to admit it or not, you have to admit it. This is the case. The Whitebeard Pirates are really terrifying. Whitebeard Pirates, the power that the regiment just displayed has reached an extremely terrifying level. And, what if the Whitebeard Pirates still have hidden power? And, what if the Whitebeard Pirates still have invincible power? Actually, all of this is beyond doubt. These have been proven, the Whitebeard Pirates' strength. How amazing and terrifying in the end. This is the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates, absolutely do not doubt it. There is no need to doubt it, because this is absolutely invincible, absolutely terrifying power. Invincible, maybe. The current Whitebeard Pirates still can't reach this level, but it doesn't take long for the Whitebeard Pirates to reach this level. This is something that does not need to be doubted at all, let alone doubted. The Whitebeard Pirates, the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates is strong enough and terrifying enough. As time goes by, the strength of the Whitebeard Pirates will be displayed more and more terrifyingly at a speed visible to the naked eye. And at that moment, this is the scariest thing ever. An invincible pirate group in the world, and this is what Alan expects and what Alan hopes. After all, what will the power of such a world invincible pirate group be? In fact, it is self-evident. That is also an invincible power, it is also an invincible terror. Let this world take a look, what will the next result be? Alan's expression is calm enough, that is, he is quietly looking at everything in front of him, as if he is ready for everything, just quietly looking at everything in front of him. His expression is full of endless indifference. It's almost there. If it continues, it will be a waste of time for everyone. Alan was thinking in his heart, maybe some people didn't know what this meant, but for Alan, it was enough, and he knew very well what the next result would be. Gia ha 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 ha. Shiki has slowly floated up, and the corners of his mouth are wide open, and he smiles hideously. Hey. Hey, don't let you guys look down on you. If you look down on Laozi like this, then Laozi feels very helpless. 35,960. Exactly. B. Let me see what your strength is like. Lion Majesty. Earth coiling. Shiki opened one hand, and the entire Atom Kingdom began to roar violently. A terrifying force seemed to devour everything completely. That terrifying force made the earth roaring. A roaring lion head emerged, as if to devour the entire Atom Kingdom in an instant. Newgate, Kaido, Shiki. As these monsters take action, in fact, what they represent is beyond doubt. The strength of monsters is the most terrifying thing, and then, showing what level of power will be achieved. Hehe. In fact, it is self-evident. Such a power that is almost invincible or even should be called terror is the most frightening and terrifying. And what will happen next, it is no longer clear. More words are needed, and there is no need to think about it, because it is no longer necessary. Humph. Adam looked at Shiki who was shooting, and the corners of his mouth twitched, and he said faintly with disdain, it's just a mere brat. It's not worth mentioning at all. Does this brat think I will put him in my eyes? Just in different eyes, Adam seems to ignore the existence of the other party at all, or in other words. For Adam, all of this is really meaningless at all. Pound hash. Actually, in Adam's eyes, is Shiki's strength strong? It can only be said that it is not bad. That's right. It's just not bad, actually. For this it is so terrifying. When a strength reaches a level, then the strength of the weak is simply not worth mentioning. This, don't doubt, this is the real truth. No matter what time it is, you are undeniable. Adam's strength is really terrifying. He has improved step by step from resurrection to the present. Compared to rocks, the overall strength of the commander-in-chief of the three armies like the captain and Sen is nothing to be exaggerated. It can be said, this is also the fundamental reason why Adam is willing to be resurrected. Actually, for Adam, he has already obtained this strength. If he wants to achieve this strength again, he is just walking the same road again. This is not a difficult task. AGFJ thing, and what really stopped Adam was actually Adam's ambition. Since reaching this strength, Adam can't go any further. This is the root cause of Adam's gradual death. For Adam, he is thinking about how to go further, how to improve his strength to stronger level. It's Adam's idea, and Adam's idea is very serious, because of this. Adam has been thinking about what will happen next. And what will happen next, this is extremely important thing. Adam chose to create his own body, and if his body can reach such an invincible level, then the strength will be improved terribly, but what if it cannot reach such a level? In fact, it is self-evident things are up. Adam needs to continue to work hard and continue to improve himself. Only in this way can he continue to improve himself step by step in such a long time. This is extremely important, even to say. This is the most important thing. This is the possibility of Adam reaching a higher level, but unfortunately, the current Adam is obviously unable to reach this level. Although his body is said to have broken through to this level in a short period of time, he wants to go further. It is very difficult for Adam, and Adam is very clear about this. Adam is very clear, although he has already reached such a level. But if you really want to go further, it's too difficult. It has reached such a level. This level can be said to be a monster-like strength, but the level of this monster level has bound many people to this level, and it is impossible for people to go further. Ascension, and this is the most desperate thing. Accompanied by a slight sigh, what everyone feels is endless despair. The despair that comes from the heart and the soul is the most helpless thing, but say, Shaki, he's still just a mere kid. Do you still need to pay attention to a kid? Stop making trouble. Such a kid is not worth mentioning at all. To be honest, Adam doesn't put Shaki in his eyes at all, after all. Shiki's strength is no longer on the same level as Adam's. People like Shaki, Newgate, Kaido are on the same level, and compared to monsters like Adam, then they are no longer rivals on the same level. It can be said that there is no comparability. With the passage of time, this kind of battle will become more and more like this, and this is the gap brought by absolute strength. Search. A figure has risen to the sky, and this figure is wearing jet black armor, blocking Shiki's attack, and what is the identity of the whole person? No one knows. But this person has shown a very strong strength. Obviously. Although his identity is very special. But it has also been proved that his extremely strong but special strength. It is more proof. His is not simple. This is an existence with a very special identity. In other words, this is a being created by Adam's kingdom, but it is one of the puppets created by Adam, or one of the background, no matter what kind of statement it is. In fact, these are all meaningless things. At least for Adam. Actually, these are all indifferent things. I have prepared so much, not for all this, for so many years. Adam is to break through this last step, but this last step is too desperate. No matter how hard you work, you can only passively endure all this, such despair is the most helpless thing. But in this dangerous era, even if Adam wants to give up, there is nothing he can do. He knows that he must come out, and he must participate in it, otherwise. For this the next thing is the most troublesome thing. He exhaled a deep puff of smoke, and Adam's expression was filled with endless calm, and even more endless indifference. For him, this kind of battle is simply a battle that he doesn't care about. The battle between Newgate, Kaido, and the two men of Shadow Isle. Actually, the same is true. In Adam's eyes, such a battle is nothing worth mentioning at all. All these so-called things are nothing worth mentioning in Adam's eyes. It's really not at all. Will be in the eye, because these, for Adam, are really not a big deal. Boom. Listening to the roar, Adam is thinking about something. For him, what he pursues is not power, nor so-called wealth. What Adam pursues is life, and what he pursues is power. That's what Adam is after. For Adam, he just wants to be stronger. He just wants to get stronger step by step. That's everything Adam wants, and beyond that, everything else, for Adam, it's really not important, at least. Adam himself doesn't care about it at all. Adam. Eve walked to Adam's side and said softly, "The victory of this war must belong to us, but it's just a group of little devils, and we don't need to pay attention to it at all." He. Listening to Eve's words, Adam just shook his head lightly and said, "I don't care about these little devils at all, after all. It's just a mere group of little devils, it doesn't matter at all, no matter what the next result will be. How? In fact, it's already meaningless." Quote. When Adam said this, he couldn't help shaking his head. Yes, some words, he didn't know how to say it. It was obviously a very desperate thing, but it was really very helpless. It really makes people feel hopeless, that kind of feeling, I really don't know what to say. Obviously everything is in front of me, but my own result, but it is like this. There is really no way. I have no hope of resistance, and I can only passively bear all this. This is the result placed in front of Adam. For Adam, he is really helpless. I want to break through this limit, but this limit is not so easy to do. It is even said that Adam has been breaking through time and time again, but it is impossible to break through at all. Otherwise, according to the strength of Adam's kingdom cultivated by Adam, the things that can be done can be said to be countless. Even, although it is difficult for Adam to occupy the entire new world, it is not a problem to become an uncrowned king of the new world. At the very least, the world government will not take action against Adam. Unfortunately, Adam just doesn't care about all of this, or rather, Adam is simply not interested in these things. These are really not important things to Adam, or they mean nothing at all. It's Adam's fundamental idea, what's the point? Actually, no interest at all, or rather, no idea, because these are just meaningless things. That's the truth. Adam can't go further, and everything else is really of no interest to Adam. Adam only wants to go further, and for everything else, Adam is interested. However, what Adam wants is more improvement in strength. As long as the strength is improved, then next, everything that I can get will be more. This is what Shaki thinks. As for the other, everything really doesn't matter. Snapped. Following Adam's movements, the entire sea seemed to have been tumbling, the monstrous waves were tumbling, and the endless tumbling sea seemed to be completely swallowing everything up. Too terrifying. This endless churning sea also represents Adam's heart. He really has raised his strength to an invincible level that can be raised. Next, it is not easy to go further. Alas. 99. Adam silently raised his head and looked into the distance quietly, but let out a helpless sigh. He didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to do, because Adam really felt endless despair. This kind of feeling, presumably, as long as it is an individual, it is the result that is unwilling to bear. That level is really too terrifying. It is simply impossible to reach, and this kind of situation is true for everyone. It really feels endless despair. Obviously everything seems to be achievable, but in the end the result is can't do it at all. This is the most desperate thing for Adam, maybe. For many people, it is the most desperate thing. Pity. No matter whether you are desperate or not, this is the reality in front of you, whether you admit it or deny it. These things are things that cannot be changed at all. Adam's pursuit is to go further, and for so many years, Adam is still standing still. He knows this is his last chance. In this opportunity, he must further improve to a stronger level. Otherwise, even if he survived again, it is completely meaningless. P.S. 5,000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. 4th update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. Chapter 245. The monsters are all shot. Stronger levels. Stronger power. For Adam, who has survived again, this is all he wants to pursue, so to speak. This is all that Adam pursues. This is the change in Adam's heart, actually. It's not a strange thing. A man you can pursue money, power, and beauty. But, if all this is for a person who has lived long enough, then in fact, everything is already meaningless. For such a person, he does not pay attention to the so-called everything, all he needs is strong strength. And Adam is such a person. Adam can be said to have made all preparations, although because of some accidents, he was resurrected earlier, or he chose his own body. However, these things are for Adam to come. Saying, it's still nothing, and Adam is really very calm about these, even saying. It should be said that it is full of endless calm. Because there is no absolute stability in anything, let alone absolute success. Adam is of course very clear about this, and it is precisely because he is clear. Therefore, Adam understands very well that he needs to become stronger and he needs to be stronger. It is extremely important to improve yourself with all your efforts. It is even said that this is the most important thing. Because of this, Adam is still growing steadily, and he knows that his preparations are sufficient. Even if there are problems in the middle of the road, but according to his own preparations, if you want to go further, it is very difficult thing. Do not, no kidding, these are not the most important things for Adam, and even to say, wanting to change all this is really not a big problem for Adam. Adam is also very clear that the biggest danger is in front of him. Don't doubt, this is the biggest danger in all his preparations, the other party is menacing, and according to his own observation, he is already ready, it can be said. Adam is very clear that he must be prepared for everything, if he really relaxes any vigilance, then the result will be the price of life. This is something Adam is very clear about, but Adam is also very clear at the same time, this is also a very good opportunity for himself, there is only one chance. And as long as he seizes this opportunity, then it is enough, this is absolutely beyond doubt, remember. There is only one chance, as long as you seize this one and only chance, then you can become stronger, this is absolutely no doubt. Because of this, there is a danger in front of Adam, and it is also a huge opportunity, and as long as such an opportunity is seized, then everything that can be obtained next is beyond doubt, and you may really be able to step out the last step that I have always wanted to take, even if it is extremely difficult. But all this is in sight. Then there is a chance of success, and this is Adam's self-confidence. Actually, as a strong person, you are naturally full of absolute confidence, even if you may be defeated, but you will still be full of absolute confidence. No one will admit defeat like this, and no one will surrender like this is fundamental impossible thing. Remaining silent, Adam quietly looked at the battlefield in front of him, but he was thinking about things that others could not imagine. No one knew what this man was thinking, and no one knew who this man was. What will be done, all this? Maybe it's the unknown. It's the unknown for everyone. Looking at everything in front of them quietly, everyone's expressions are calm enough. For them, this is a chaotic war, but, again, for them, they also have absolute certainty that this isn't a matter of course. Humph. Everyone's mouth Kakuzu evoked a smile, and Shiki was not afraid of his opponent, but laughed sassily. Jia ha 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 ha. Shiki laughed proudly. Hey, don't look down on Laozi. This guy like a puppet wants to defeat Laozi. Don't make trouble. If this kind of strength can defeat Laozi, then Laozi can. It's just too embarrassing. Adam Kingdom is really strong enough, but unfortunately, your demise today is a matter of course. Lion Majesty Empty Scroll. Lion Majesty. Earth Coiling. Lion Majesty C roll. Jia ha ha ha. 99. Have a good experience. I'm an invincible power. In front of my strength, you are not worth mentioning at all. You won't be my opponent at all. Come on. Come on. Let me see. Look, what is your strength? 35. With this cruel and terrifying smile, as if Shiki has prepared everything, every blow will destroy the world, and the entire Atom Kingdom seems to be churning. However, this is Shiki's destruction of the world. Strength. Lion Fruit. It can be said, this is a devil fruit that is also very terrifying and invincible. Do you still need to doubt the power of such a devil fruit? Of course there is no need at all. It can be said that the power of this devil fruit, the power is the devil fruit that terrifies the whole sea, and in Shiki's hands, the power exerted. It makes everyone feel the power of absolute fear. This is the power of Lion Fruit. 3. And this is Shiki's strength. Whether you admit it or deny it, you have to admit that Shiki's strength is absolutely terrifying enough. Golden Lion Shiki. This is the top powerhouse above the sea, and, although Shiki is temporarily unable to compare to the monsters of the level of Alan and Adam, but Shiki's strength is still improving, and he has improved rapidly. Because of this, Shiki is very clear that his strength is very strong, and he needs to improve further. This is Shiki's strength, there is no need to doubt it at all. Bump, bump. With Shiki's movements, the entire sea seemed to be churning. In a short period of time, this invincible force seemed to have changed everything. This is really too fast, and under such a result, everything has become doubtless. Mom. With this familiar laughter, the owner of this voice is Linlin. Linlin looked around and said with a wide mouth, do you guys really look down on the old lady? Or say it, do you think the old lady is not your opponent? Linlin's fighting spirit is terrifying enough, and even more frightening, it can be said. Linlin's strength has risen to an extremely terrifying level, in just a short period of time. Such amazing power is already an invincible power. Boom, boom. The endless roar resounded. Every time Linlin hit it, it seemed to destroy everything, and this power was too terrifying, it really was a power that made people feel terrified. The sky is full of great freedom. Fireball in the sky. Zeus in the left hand and Prometheus in the right hand, terrifying thunder and flames fell madly, and under Linlin's offensive, she was like a monster sweeping the battlefield, in a short period of time, crazy. Sweeping everything around, and this kind of power, is the most terrifying, isn't it? It can be said, this is Linlin's most terrifying offensive. In a short period of time, the entire battlefield began to gradually collapse again. Because Linlin's strength is really too strong. The power that burst out in this way really makes people feel to fear. Boom, boom. One after another thunder light continued to fall, and Linlin was laughing wildly. Mom. Too weak. Too weak. Is there only such an opponent? Not worth mentioning. Is there no stronger opponent? Linlin was laughing, and with the falling of the flames and thunder, the surrounding sea was churning, and Linlin's strength was vividly displayed at this moment, and it was telling everyone that her strength was in the end. How powerful. Do not doubt. The owner of Linlin can match the strength of the Emperor of the Sea. She is the real Emperor of the Sea in the original book. As for being defeated by Kid and Luo together, what strange thing is this? This is a brand new era, and it is not strange to be defeated by the two together. It's like Kaido was defeated by Luffy. Don't feel any strange, if the battle on this sea is not a destructive battle, but is really delayed, or in other words, the two sides are almost evenly matched, or the original situation is 3-7 or 4-6. If the situation is open, then the battle is difficult to say. Under such a result, must someone dare to guarantee that they are absolutely victorious? Obviously, nobody. That's right. No one has such self-confidence, or in other words, no one has ever had such absolute certainty. This is absolutely beyond doubt. This is the foundation of this sea. This is true for everyone, and no one has such certainty. No one can be sure that he can really do this, even Linlin, or others can't do it. This is something that will not cause any problems. Newgate, Shiki, Linlin, Kaido. 4 people's shots, and with the 4 people's shots, the others are also gradually shooting. Burndy has directly entered the battlefield. Bump, bump. Burndy clenched his fist with one hand. The power of a fist is simply unbearable. It is like an invincible power. What people feel is only endless terror, and such horror, the next result will be what is it? Actually, it is self-evident, terrible. Horror. It makes people feel endlessly terrified, and this is the power that is almost invincible. Ask for flowers. Whether it's admitting, denying, or what the result is, Burndee's strength is here, and this is one of the top powerhouses above the sea, there is absolutely no doubt about it. Do not doubt. Burndee is above this sea, there is still no need to doubt. Does such a strong person need to be doubted? It's just like a joke. Burndee definitely has such strength, but also has such ability, and even more such qualifications. It can be said that Burndee's strength and everything in all aspects have been proved. Everything. It's really not worth mentioning. Burndee looked around at the corpses everywhere, and said with disdain, only this kind of strength. You don't need to be looked down upon at all. It's completely indifferent. Burndee squinted his eyes slightly, his eyes filled with endless indifference, too weak. Too weak. Such strength is simply not worth mentioning. And, a powerhouse that can stop Shiki, even Adam can be cultivated, but that is very rare. After all, that is a real admiral level powerhouse, maybe Adam can be cultivated, but 3, 4 in this long time is almost the same. If it can be cultivated casually, that is the most terrible thing, isn't it? Obviously. This is something that Adam can't do, it's not surprising, it's not a strange thing. Point 0. Still now, the situation seems to be different, and as more and more people attack, Adam also knows that he can't continue like this. Boom. Boom. Burndee showed great strength. He looked around and narrowed his eyes slightly. Although he was arrogant, he was not an idiot. Burndee was very clear. It's hard to tell if the situation comes down. If you're not careful, you may need to pay for your life. Cost. And for such a result, it is naturally not something that Burndee is willing to accept. And Burndee is also very clear about this. This is not a very good thing. We must pay attention and be vigilant. This is definitely something that needs to be dealt with matter. Crackling. Crackling. Burndee showed a very strong strength. He quickly cleaned everything around him, and it seemed that everyone was cleaned up. This amazing strength seems to have proved how powerful Burndee is. Amazing. Boom. Boom. Under such a roar, what will be the next result? In fact, it is self-evident. Humph. As Burndee killed the quartet, another figure had joined the battlefield. Brush. Brush. Under the extremely fast speed, under the amazing offensive, and the offensive and speed of this figure can be said to be extremely fast, it is really too fast. It has reached an unbelievable level, such a speed. It is simply unbelievable, what an amazing strength this is. But the fact is that, the bright red blood was stained on the legs and feet again, and this is the strength of Jep, Redfoot Jep. Such a terrifying monster is never a joke, and it is impossible to joke. That's Zap's strength, isn't it? Hee. It can be said that Jep displayed extremely strong strength, and with every blow, he swept away the enemies in all directions. Seriously, without the blessing of Devil Fruit's ability, the strength that Zapu has shown seems to be worthless at all. It's just, if you underestimate Zapu because of this, then you will even pay for it. Aki, the land of life. There is absolutely nothing to doubt, Zapu's strength is not weak at all, that is a real physique-type powerhouse. That's right, Zapu's strength is a real physique-type strongman, such a strongman the strength that can be displayed, as long as it is not an idiot, it is very clear, terrifying. Terrifying. It makes people feel endlessly terrified. And this is Zapu's strength, don't doubt it. The stronger the physique type, the more such strength will be displayed. Crackling. Crackling. Under the fierce offensive of Jep, these people of Atom Kingdom have already started to retreat, even if they are prepared, the final result. It is still the case, this battle is already doomed, Atom Kingdom is it possible to win? In fact, it is almost impossible. P.S. 5,000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. 5th update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. Chapter 246. Completely crazy battlefield. Battlefield. It has completely fallen into madness and madness, it can be said. At this moment in the battlefield, everything seems to become unparalleled chaos, and this most chaotic battlefield has completely burst out. Right now, the whole battle situation has become completely unparalleled chaos and madness, so to speak. Has really reached an ultimate, this is not a joke, but a real terrifying ultimate, isn't it? Hee. With the faint chuckle, the entire battlefield has completely fallen into madness and madness. Boom. Boom. The endless roar exploded, and under such a result, what happened next? Shiki is not afraid of his opponent at all. With one hand open, he shows great strength with the ability of lion fruit, as if he wants to devour everything, so to speak. It's just that the power displayed, Shiki displayed is extremely strong. Golden Lion Shiki, who dares to underestimate this monster? Hee. If someone really dares to underestimate this monster, then the price will be the price of life. Never doubt, what a terrifying monster this is. This is definitely a real horror to the ultimate monster, no matter what at any time, if you dare to underestimate this monster, the result will be terrifying. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. A drop of blood seems to be dripping. On Jep's feet, the bright red blood dripping down, not a single drop belongs to Jep himself, it belongs to other people's blood, and this is so terrifying blood, what will be the result that will be paid next? Actually, it is self-evident that this will be an extremely terrifying force, even if it is only a little bit. But, if you relax your vigilance, or if you have any carelessness, then the price you pay it all makes you feel terribly terrified. Short time. What will the next result be? This is the most interesting thing, isn't it? Hee. It can be said, this white-hot battlefield has made the whole world pay attention. Everyone knows that the results of this battlefield will actually become unparalleled and terrifying. No one can deny the strength of everyone in this battlefield. But the same, and no one really dares to be careless, strength. It is too terrifying, just the strength displayed as the endless fear. Tick-tock, tick-tock, a drop of blood dripped, and this result. It is a very normal thing, in the entire battlefield, in any position, everyone is like this. Brush, Kongyan cut air shock cut. 35. Suddenly, a terrifying knife fell, and Newgate's knife was completely avoided by the other party, but even so, the other party still felt Newgate's deadly attack, for a moment. It seemed to be his own skin, it's like being stabbed, and the severe pain makes people feel endless fear. Fear. Horrible. 99. 66.99. Staring at Newgate in front of him, this man still didn't dare to be careless. He slowly took off his suit, and his eyes radiated a sharp light, because he was very clear, he knows the horror of the man in front of him, but as long as it is a little careless. Yes, even if it is just a little careless, the price may be the price of life, never doubt what the next result will be. Fear. Horrible. Die. Hee. No one knows what the result is, but in the face of a strong man like Newgate, if you dare to let your guard down, then the result is that there is no need to say much. Goo la la la. Facing his opponent, Newgate smiled heroically. Hey, as for you, although I say, I do look down on this guy, but I still have to admit that your strength is indeed good. To be able to display such strength, I also find it very interesting. A terrifying light burst out in his eyes, and Newgate's fighting intent can be said to be very terrifying, even surprisingly amazing. Just the strength that is displayed makes people feel endlessly terrified. Crackling. Every inch of muscle is shaking, and Newgate's breath seems to have increased several times at a speed visible to the naked eye. Snapped. The next moment, Newgate went straight to his opponent, his mouth widened, and he said grimly, "Come on. Let me see your strength, but don't let me down. Otherwise, I also find it very boring." Thing. Kong Yunchi Hai Junchi. The first time, Newgate used other moves, holding the blow of Kong Yuncho, as if tore apart everything in front of him, this blow. It was too fast, so fast that it was too late for people to notice, and in under such a blow, everyone seems to fall into silence, all this. It happened so fast. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. The blood dripped instantly, and what was the result? This is something that no one knows. Boom. Facing his opponent, Linlin also grinned interestingly, and said interestingly, "It's really an interesting opponent. But I didn't expect that Atom Kingdom still has such a strong man." Not only facing Newgate and Kaido, the two former kings of Shadow Island, and facing Shiki's opponent, but now. The person who stood in front of Linlin also has extremely strong strength, even the same it is the amazing strength that is displayed, which is unimaginable. But, believe it or not, this is the power that Atom's kingdom has shown, it is absolutely terrifying enough. And it is strong enough, no matter whether it is admitted or denied, this power is absolutely terrifying enough. Humph. 35. While staring at the opponent in front of him, Linlin's mouth grinned, and he said savagely, "Then. Let the old lady come and take a look." Emperor Sword. Broken blade. Fall. The terrifying blow seemed to fall in an instant, and the time between this moment, as if it was going to devour everything, this is really too fast. It is approaching the result that people have no time to notice, but it is after such a terrible blow. Everything seemed to be in silence. Not only Shiki and Linlin, Jep and Berndi also met their own opponents, but they were also transformed opponents. And with the emergence of such opponents, this is the most frightening thing. It should be say, it's scary. Atom Kingdom. Strong. Scary. Real. This is not a joke, but a real, very terrifying fact. The power that is simply displayed has already made everyone see how amazing the strength of Atom Kingdom is. 4. 5. 6. There are 6 Admiral-level powerhouses, although it is said, these 6 powerhouses are basically in a state of being suppressed. But this is not something that needs to be doubted, it is still 6 top-level powerhouses. There are 6 real Admiral-level powerhouses, and this is only the strength of a country. From this, it can be seen how terrifying the Atom Kingdom is. Even say, just by looking at it, you can feel it, the power of Atom Kingdom is invincible. This moment, everyone understands why Shiki must unite with so many people, because if there are a little less people, it is estimated that the person who will die now is waiting for others. The strength of Atom's kingdom is really no joke. This is true in a sense, the real horror. Of course, whether it is found or not. In fact, this is no longer important, the reason is very simple, some things, even if you already know, but this does not mean that you can leave, remember, now you can only continue to stay here. Since you have already participated in this war, if you want to leave, it is really not a matter of whether you want to leave or you can leave. Boom, boom. The roar was still resounding, and Shiki, Linlin, Verndi, and Jep faced their opponents without any carelessness from beginning to end. Same. Under such a result, Kaido faced his opponent, but he was furious as if he was a terrifying lunatic. Every blow brought down the power that seemed to destroy everything. It's too fast. Too scary. Bump, bump. The power of each blow is so terrifying, the speed and strength are so fast that people can't even notice it, or in other words. Facing Kaido's offensive, the opponent is also very uncomfortable. Although Newgate's strength is strong, but Newgate's battle is more of a big open battle, there is no doubt about this, but Kaido's battle is not just that. Zone Devil Fruit, the explosive force and speed, in a short period of time, can form an impact force that can destroy everything. And this is the most terrifying force, isn't it? Therefore, the current battlefield is extremely terrifying, and what will happen next is also the most important thing for everyone to pay attention to. Everyone is staring at the battlefield, watching this battlefield that has completely fallen into madness, no matter who it is. They dare not have any carelessness, this sentence. It is not a joke, but a real no. Dare to have any relaxation, this is vigilance and solemnity from the soul. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Looking at the situation in front of him, Akoku shook his beard slightly and thought a little. Looks. Things seem to be getting more and more interesting. What will be the outcome of this war? No, it shouldn't be. So, it should be said, what is the strength of Atom Kingdom? Or, with a beard, Akoku's expression is very sharp. He is also thinking, what is the strength of Atom Kingdom? Is there any other preparations? This is a very important thing. After all, for the present to show in terms of everything, if the Kingdom of Atom had other strengths. So, it's really too terrifying. 6 Admiral level strengths, but Atom hasn't shot yet. And the elite troops are emerging one after another. Actually, now on the entire sea, it's not just the attacking Alan and others who feel shocked, no. It should be said that Alan is not shocked. After all, he holds the sheep charm, and he can clearly feel the fluctuation of his soul, so to speak. For himself, he clearly and keenly aware of what is wrong with the soul in the end. Because of this, he has been keenly aware of all this. This is too easy and too simple for himself, this is something that does not need to be doubted at all. Akoku understands this very well, and except for Alan, not only the pirates, but also everyone on the sea is very shocked. Is the Kingdom of Atom so powerful? This is so powerful that it is unbelievable. The extent of it, I can't imagine what kind of terrifying power this is. I just can't believe it. Too strong. Too strong. This is not a joke, but it is really too powerful. The strength displayed by Atom Kingdom is really too terrifying, and it really makes people feel endlessly terrified. 66.99. In the end, Akoku shook his head quietly. He knew that whatever he said was inappropriate, and it was better to keep his mouth shut, because these words were not things that could be changed simply by nonsense. It seems. Then the battle begins. With this faint voice, and a light flashed in Akoku's eyes, he knew very well that it was time for him to start. Snapped. Snapped. Carrying his own heavy sword, Akoku also joined the battlefield. 66.39. Looking at the battlefield in front of him, Baroric said indifferently, Alan, are you still not going to shoot? 35. Alan said casually. It doesn't matter, just keep watching, since the old guy Adam still doesn't plan to shoot. So why is I so anxious to shoot? No need to be anxious. Just watch it quietly. Quote. Seriously, Alan really thinks it doesn't matter, he just intends to watch the excitement quietly, but he is very curious. What will happen next? So looking at everything in front of him, Alan's eyes are filled with endless calm, but also full of arrogant indifference. This is not a joke, but the real peace and indifference from the heart, it is the real not to put all the 5.9 in the eyes, this is Alan's self-confidence and arrogance. A puff of smoke was exhaled, and Alan pondered slightly, Baloric, are you going to shoot? Baloric nodded slightly and said, I see a suitable opponent. Seriously, Alan, I thought that for so many years, the gap between me and you would not be too big, but when I arrive, I will truly understand that I have a big gap with you. This is not a joke. It is a huge gap. With a look of emotion, although it is a slight sigh, but Baroric is very calm, and he doesn't care about it, just. What Baroric said is really not wrong. Actually, Baloric understands what the next result will be, if you say. Newgate's strength is level 70, then Baloric is probably at level 80, and Alan has reached level 120. This is even a pure strength gap, and this gap is also very terrifying. Therefore, under such a huge gap in strength, the current situation is the most hopeless. Such despair is the most helpless. However, Baloric does not have any despair, he just a little emotion. Next. He will still show his extremely strong strength. Joke. Is this the end? No kidding. Impossible. Baloric will not just admit defeat, he will continue to show his strength and defeat his opponent. This is what Baloric wants. Do things. Go one step further and defeat your opponents. P.S. 5,000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. 6th update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. Chapter 247. Baloric vs. Eve. Gap. Yes. Baloric has already felt the gap between himself and Alan, but the same. Although he feels the gap, this will only make Baloric more determined to progress, not just stop here, all this that's it. This is something that Baloric absolutely does not allow. His heart does not allow him to give up here. This is Baloric's character. The owner's firm heart is becoming stronger and stronger, even on the strongest path, Baloric has his own firm heart and will not retreat. Wu slightly let out a sigh of turbidity. Baloric didn't say anything, but quietly watched everything in front of him, the utter chaos and madness of the battlefield in front of the viewer's eyes, and the next result of this battlefield will be what is the most important thing. Tick-tock, tick-tock, drops of blood dripped, and at the same time, there were also crazy and endless screams, everyone seemed to be crazy or crazy, and the endless roars resounded in their ears, not only that, but also with the roar from the soul, they are like crazy. Kill, kill, these crazy roars and roars, they have gradually lost their minds now. In such a crazy but crazy battlefield, it is very normal for people to lose their senses, and it is even a matter of course, after all. When you have lost your mind, what will happen next? In fact, it is self-evident. The killings continued, and Alan and Baloric looked at the battlefield quietly, raised their heads, as if they saw each other's eyes. Adam and Eve, the two also quietly looked at the battlefield, and looked at each other's two people quietly. He. The corners of Alan's mouth grinned, and he said with a grim smile, it's really terrifying power. Although it's just a glance, I can feel this terrifying power. But it's really interesting. Baloric looked at the person not far away, and said indifferently, indeed. The strength does seem to be good, at least. Not weak at all. This is 06's evenly matched opponent. The two of them can see clearly that the other party is not weak, and they are evenly matched opponents. Because of this is the most terrifying battle. What will be the result of this war? It is already very obvious that this is the outcome that will be divided among the four people. When the outcome is determined by the four people, then everything has been decided. 66.99. Adam thought for a while, his expression was also very calm, and finally, said lightly, Eve. The final battle begins among us, and with the end of the battle, everything will end here. Yes. Eve also looked at her husband quietly with a look of emotion, and finally raised the corners of her mouth with a smile. She has already made all preparations, no matter what will happen next. In fact, it's already a good thing, and there's no need to be too nervous. This is a danger. Similarly, this is also an opportunity. Only by fighting with an opponent of the same level can one further grow, or even truly transform, and this is the change brought about by real transformation. It can be said, this is the fundamental core, and that's why. The winner will truly be transformed, and that is the transformation that comes from the soul and from itself. Brush. Holding a huge silver axe, and silver axe's offensive is very ferocious. In a short period of time, one by one opponents have been killed by silver axe, and silver axe swept over everyone present one by one, and his eyes appeared. It was a terrifying killing intent. Trash. 99. Damn it. 55. Terrible killing intent burst out in silver axe's eyes, so to speak. Silver axe doesn't show any mercy, he is really full of endless killing intent, he needs to get stronger. Get stronger. Get stronger again and again, getting stronger again and again. Silver axe actually already know, the gap between himself and Alan is getting bigger and bigger. Alan and Silver Axe, these two are old rivals, and the reason why they didn't shoot each other now is very simple, that is, Silver Axe didn't continue to look for trouble, and since Silver Axe didn't look for trouble, then. Of course Alan, I don't care about these anymore, and I don't take them seriously, and naturally I'm too lazy to shoot Silver Axe. Actually, the reason is very simple, because the current Alan has become stronger and has truly surpassed this level, and since it has already surpassed this level, then. Naturally, Alan will not pay more attention to these, it is no longer a level opponent. Well, it's pointless to think too much about it. And because of this, Alan actually rarely shoots for Silver Axe. The madness and ferocity in Alan's bones have not changed. It's just that very few of them are because their strength has been greatly improved, but they are not their opponents at all. Since they will not be their own opponents, why should they go? Continue to fight. Obviously. There is no doubt about this, at least. For Alan, he is very clear about what is going on, and Silver Axe is very clear about what is going on with Alan, and because of this. Silver Axe understand that you need to get stronger, you need to get stronger. He can't put his life in the mercy of the other party, this is simply an act of death. And because of this, Silver Axe is very clear that he must become stronger, he must become strong enough, otherwise. Then it is a meaningless thing. Come on. 99. Come on. 35. Let me see what your strength is, let you be my stepping stone. Silver Axe clenched the huge axe in his hand with one hand, and the killing intent of the whole person can be said to have been terrifyingly improved. The terrifying aura seemed to be exuding, and the terrifying air waves were churning. This man's breath is very terrifying, and he is ready for war and destruction, obviously. This is the strength of Silver Axe. And Silver Axe, after being stimulated again and again, its strength is also improved, or rather. Silver Axe only brings about a huge transformation of strength, which is truly undoubted. It comes from the soul, or in other words, undoubtedly fundamental transformation. This is the strength of Silver Axe. Woo. Taking a deep breath, Silver Axe has already entered the battlefield. All he wants to improve is his own strength. Actually, for anyone, although strength has an upper limit, and potential also has an upper limit, but to put it bluntly, this is just a statement. People can break their upper limit, and they can also break their own limits. And as long as you break your own limit, then your strength can be improved again and again, and you can get unlimited improvement. This is the most important thing. This is absolutely beyond doubt. Of course, the difficulty contained in this is too great, breaking the limit. It is never easy, no matter for anyone, the limit. If it is really that easy to break, then it's not the limit. And because of this, the limit needs to be improved again and again, and the transformation of strength is required, and this can be achieved gradually, and this is the most difficult, even to say. This is simply impossible. Silver Axe is trying to break his limit, even if. Silver Axe is also very clear that the probability of his success may be very low, but. Still that sentence. For Silver Axe, he is not willing to put his life putting it in the hands of others is irresponsible for oneself, and because of this, Silver Axe is absolutely unwilling to do so. This is absolutely impossible. Silver Axe is still working hard to become stronger, every day is working hard, and every day is firming to become stronger. This is the idea of Silver Axe. On the other side, compared to Silver Axe, this guy John is completely different. That is, like a madman, he strikes fiercely, shows extremely strong strength, and even shows a terrifying posture. Brush. With a long knife in hand, John's offensive was very ferocious. In a short period of time, he swept away all the enemies in front of him. Operator. John casually smiled and said, so weak. Such a guy is really too weak, right? It's not worth mentioning at all, right? Hey, is there no stronger opponent? If that's the case, it really makes me feel a little boring. Ha. Listening to John's crazy laughter, as if he didn't take everything seriously, it would only make people feel annoyed. However, it is undeniable that John's strength is indeed very terrifying, and even makes people feel to chills. This person holding a long sword is really like a pirate in the traditional sense. He has no worries, he has no hesitation, burning, killing and looting. He will not be reluctant to shoot because the other party is weak. This is John's character, killing. This is his madness. This is Captain John. Among all the big pirates of this era, he is definitely a real crazy guy. He doesn't even have any reason. All he has is endless the madness and the killing and the slaughter. This is the character of Captain John. Now, Captain John joined the battlefield, and the terrifying killing intent seemed to swept all directions. Boom. The war has completely entered the white-hot stage. One by one monsters are shooting, and the same. All the whole cards in Atom Kingdom are also whole cards in and out. It can be said that everyone on both sides has already made all preparations. Individuals are filled with a determined look, they are ready for everything. Now, there are only these 4 people who have not yet shot, and they are also the 4 most powerful people among the people present, and the strength of these 4 people does not need to be thought about. That is above this sea. Perhaps it is an exaggeration to call it the most terrifying strength. It seems that our battle is going to be in the future. Baroric stood beside Alan, suddenly opened his mouth, and said calmly, Alan, I am not your opponent now, this battle. It can only be placed in the future. Let me see look. In the time to come, what will the result be? It doesn't matter. Alan said casually but proudly. You lost to me. It is a matter of course in itself, I will never fail. This is my self-confidence, no matter what time it is a matter of course. Woo. He exhaled a puff of green smoke and put his hands in his pockets. Alan's expression was full of endless pride. His own strength was a matter of course, and Baroric may become stronger in the future, and he may be able to improve to this level in the future. But this is nothing worth mentioning at all. When you reach this level in the future, if I can't become stronger, then my weakness is a matter of course, there is no need to doubt it at all. There is no need to hesitate at all, because while you are getting stronger, I am also getting stronger. Limit. Feel sorry. Alan itself has no limit, Alan has no limit, and will only become stronger again and again. 6695. Baroric did not continue to say anything, but quietly put his eyes into the distance, and then suddenly flew high. Brush. It disappeared in an instant. Woo. Breathing out a puff of smoke at random, Alan pondered. It looks like this battle has reached its final stage. It's really fast. Sure enough, in such a war, it's really the most interesting thing. What will be the result of taking 960? Search. Licking the corner of his mouth slightly, Alan, who was wearing the captain's coat, murmured interestingly, it's really interesting. What will happen next? And next. What will happen? Quote. This kind of war is the most interesting thing. Because no one knows what will happen next, maybe victory. Maybe defeat. However, in such a crazy white-hot battlefield, even say, without any pauses. The key has been shown in front of everyone's eyes, or rather, it is telling everyone that the next result is a very interesting thing, you agree or deny. It's a meaningless thing, this is the only result. Next, let me have a look. How funny can it be? Humph. The corners of Alan's mouth grinned, and he stared at the battlefield in front of him. Brush, brush, and as Baroric fluttered his wings and flew straight to the battlefield of Atom Kingdom, he opened one hand, and monstrous blood gathered in the palm of his hand, and in an instant, a long spear was formed. It fell down at will, and in an instant, it seemed to run through everything. Long spears made of blood coagulated through, and standing on Adam's face, Eve smiled quietly, husband. It seems that this war has reached its final stage, and our victory is also coming. 99. Certainly. Adam is also full of absolutely proud gestures. Victory, this is a matter of course. Or, this is the victory that he will definitely achieve, just kidding. If you can't even achieve such a victory, then it is really better to die, forget it. This is Adam's absolute confidence, and this is Adam's absolute firmness. There is no joke, but the real firmness that comes from the soul and the heart, this is Adam's firmness. Adam. Number 1E. For these two people, they are very clear, in fact. The outcome of the battlefield is only 55 or 50, but for these two people, they both have absolute self-confidence, and the victory is definitely theirs. Just kidding, if there is no guarantee of victory, that is the most shameful thing. Because of this, the two of them are full of firmness, and there is a terrifying light in their eyes. The breath of the two of them is very terrifying. They are firm in their victory, and even more in their beliefs. And because of this, both of them knew that although Baroric and Eve were about to go to war, isn't the victory their own? Don't make trouble. It's impossible. Thing. P.S. 5,000-word chapter. Daily 6 updates. First update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. G Chapter 248. The attack of two terrifying monsters. Victory. This is the self-confidence of the two. Whether it is Alan or Adam, they all have such absolute self-confidence. Just kidding. If you don't even have such self-confidence, then it's better to die. For the two of them, they are with such absolute self-confidence, even if they know that the opponent is very strong, it is the same. For them, they never think that they will lose. In their eyes, the victory of this war is definitely theirs. Only, with the shots of Baroric and Eve, this war is also officially marked, and the reel is about to reach its final stage, and everyone in the whole world knows that this war will not last longer. In an extremely short period of time, maybe the winner will be decided. And what will the result be at that moment? This is the most anticipated and determined thing. Click, click. Eve clenched her fist with one hand, but this beautiful woman easily blocked Baroric's attack. Her eyes were filled with endless calm, and she said quietly, if your husband makes a move, you should die. He should just die here forever. There is a terrifying cold light in her eyes. Eve really has no feelings, or in other words. For Eve, in fact, her life has already been placed on Adam, and for her, everything is not having your own husband is more important. Only your husband is the most important thing to you, other than that. Everything else. In fact, they are all meaningless things. They really don't need to be taken into account at all. This is the fundamental reason. Or rather, this is the most important reason. In the face of Eve's light-hearted movements and indifferent voice, Baroric said indifferently, very strong, sure enough. You are very strong, you are not weak at all, but a real strong man. There is nothing wrong with my perception. Before the battle started, Baroric had already felt that Eve was a strong man, and a top strong man, just. There are some things that no one can confirm. This is something that cannot be confirmed. I don't know whether my perception is correct. Only, now obviously, my perception is indeed correct. Eve is not only strong, but also very terrifying, in fact. After a little conversion, I probably understand. Newgate, Shaki, Garp, Kaido, etc. These people are already it has grown to the level of the Marine Admiral of the Year, and it has slightly surpassed it. And Baroric and Eve are probably at the level of the Marine Marshal of the Year Simon. In the real sense, the real strength surpasses the strength of other ordinary admiral. This strength is definitely not a joke, but a real horror. There is absolutely no doubt about it. For the two of them, everything around them seems to have become silent, giving people a strange feeling that they don't know if they should speak. Facing each other. The two knew that in the face of such a strong man, they could not have any carelessness at all, even if it was only a little careless. Perhaps, the price to be paid was the most terrifying price. And this is the most terrifying thing, isn't it? This is the top powerhouse above the sea, it can be said. Each of them is as powerful as a monster, and such a monster must not relax their vigilance. Brush, brush. Next moment, the two figures crossed in an instant, and Baroric's figure jumped up instantly. The bat staff in his hand seemed to be transformed into a long sword or a long stick, wrapped around armament hockey, just like this hockey the swept down. The power of one blow, and each blow makes people feel endlessly terrified. Crackling. An astonishing scene appeared. No matter how amazing Baroric's offensive was, Eve was able to block Baroric's attacks again and again, but those slender hands seem to be extremely powerful. Or even that, while blocking, it can continue to attack. This is Eve's amazing strength. As this fake, this woman. It's so terrifying. 35. This moment. In the whole world, many people show disbelief. Although they hope that Atom Kingdom will win, it is best to win both ways. After all, in addition to these pirates, they are also very important to the powerful country of Atom Kingdom. Dissatisfaction. This is the complexity of the human heart. It's not a strange thing, it's not a strange thing. And besides that, everyone has never imagined that Eve, who is usually in charge of everything in Atom's kingdom, this elegant, decent and extremely beautiful woman has such strength. This is something that people have never imagined. If you get it, the battle will continue, and it will tell everyone that this battle is unfolding in front of you. Boom, boom. There were two more deafening roars, and Beloric fluttered his wings, looking down at Eve below, and said seriously, terrible strength. However, your combat experience seems to be insufficient. He. Eve smiled and said, concubine. She is the queen of Atom's kingdom. If that's the case, why did concubine take part in the war in person? But, it's okay, although concubine said that she did not have rich combat experience, but it's not a hassle to beat you. Eve obviously also has absolute confidence, one hand slightly clenched a fist, the next moment. A punch, that pitch-black armament hockey covered, not only that, Conqueror's hockey is wrapped around this punch. Boom. In an instant, the dazzling shock wave swept away directly, and the strength that Eve showed at this moment has shocked everyone, although it is said. Eve's strength does not have enough combat experience. But what is this? No, it's nothing at all. Battle experience is extremely important in some people's hands, but in some people's hands, it's nothing at all, especially someone like Eve. She has a very special fruit ability, and she has a high-level Conqueror's hockey. Because of this for her, she is not afraid of all this so-called. Then, when the three Edward brothers were looking for trouble, actually, according to Eve's strength, it is not difficult to deal with the three Edward brothers, but at that time, Atom hadn't woken up yet, and it wasn't for Eve to show it. Time of your own strength. Therefore, this is the fundamental reason why Eve did not participate in the battle and the three Edward brothers left smoothly. This is something that absolutely does not need to be doubted. But now, Eve is showing her strength incisively and vividly. Such amazing strength can be said to be completely, perfectly and very well displayed. Snapped. Stepping out one step, Eve clenched her fist with one hand, and the fist was a shock wave, and it seemed that she was familiar with her own strength. After a short test, the next moment, every fist exploded and pushed each other. The more terrifying impact, the power of each punch is more and more terrifying, and the power of each punch can destroy everything in an instant. Crackling. In a short period of time, and under such an astonishing offensive, everything seemed to be swallowed up. It was a force that was too terrifying. Going away, it seems that he wants to run through Beloric. Boom. The shock wave that the punches punched really penetrated Beloric. This scene made everyone's eyes widen in disbelief. How could it be possible? Is this Eve's strength? Is it the strength of Atom's kingdom? This is still under the circumstance that Atom has not shot, although Alan has not shot, but looking at Eve's extremely strong strength, is this the fundamental reason? Atom's kingdom is really too strong, right? Is it too scary? Humph. The corner of Alan's mouth curled into a smile, and said interestingly, looks like it. Things are getting more and more interesting. This guy, Beloric, has developed the power of Devil Fruit to such an amazing level. Again, the awakening of Devil Fruit is very troublesome, and it is almost impossible to develop it to awakening. This requires luck and insight. This is not something you can do if you work hard enough, or even if you are enough efforts, whether it can't succeed or can't succeed. Among them, Paramesha is slightly easier, Logia is later, and the awakening of Eudemons is the most difficult. As for ancient and common species, that is the easiest, and it is easier to awaken than Paramesha. But, the awakening of Eudemons is really too difficult, and except for devil fruits like Qinglong fruit, it seems. Every Eudemons gives people a very strange feeling. Nine-tails fox fruits can only be used for a short period of time. The transformation, the Orochi fruit, and the Gyuki fruit all have only 8 lives. Although it sounds very powerful, but as long as you are not an idiot, you are very clear, don't make trouble. This is just like nonsense, although it is said that the 8 lives are very powerful. However, facing oneself is fundamental when you are not a strong opponent, there is actually no difference between your 1 life and 8 lives. And this is the general situation of Eudemons. If we continue like this, what will be the result? And the power of Eudemons after awakening and awakening is different, even if it is said that is the 2 devil fruits truly show the power of the phantom beasts perfectly. Therefore, this is the most terrifying, and the most terrifying, fundamental core power of the phantom beasts. As long as you think about it a little, you already understand, right? It can be said, this is the fundamental core, and the most important absolute fundamental core. Wei exhaled a thick puff of smoke, while Alan thought softly, to what extent did Beloric develop the vampire fruit? It's really interesting. Let me see. 55. Same. Before the vampire fruit has not awakened, the only ability that can be achieved is the ability to absorb the blood of the enemy and make himself younger and stronger. Although this is terrifying, it feels very strange, compared to the real one. Eudemons seem to be very weird, and this is the real root cause. Devil fruit of Eudemons is not so easy to develop. And when the vampire fruit awakens, the power it develops is completely different, especially the ability to manipulate blood, which has proven everything. Tick-tock, tick-tock, under the gaze of everyone, even the gaze of the whole world, at this very moment. What emerges is a completely different power. A drop of blood is dripping slowly like this, and Barry K's posture is filled with a very calm look, as if he doesn't care about his current appearance at all. And that's the truth, Baloric's posture is full of calm, as if it fell out of blood. No, that posture, like Logia demon fruit power, feels very strange. Backquote ****. Interesting. Everyone showed an interesting look, and Eve also remained calm, thinking a little. You are from the Redfield family, and the blood-sucking fruit has been awakened, and sure enough. Except for your family, other people want to make this. It is almost impossible for a devil fruit to develop to awakening. Baloric frowned slightly, and Eve's words made everyone wonder, what exactly does this mean? Is there still such a thing as blood inheritance? But Baloric didn't ask any more questions. He knew that he couldn't ask anything, so he just shot. Snapped. With Baloric's sudden shot, Alan was thinking about what Eve said, thinking secretly in his heart, if this is really the case. Or, if it is combined with 5 elders, Kazuki Odin, Roger, Kazuki and so on in the original book. Then, this sentence is very interesting. That's right, although it sounds very mysterious, after all. Whether it is the passage of time fruit and past fruit, in fact. It is all within the acceptable range, and this is too mysterious, and if it is true, there is also a clear statement about the fact that he has been collecting Nuawang's collections, as if they are endless devil fruit. Oh, the corners of Alan's mouth twitched, and he said very interestingly, if this is the case, then things will become very interesting. It's really interesting. What will the next result be? Hee. A funny smile appeared, and Alan's expression was full of funny smiles, and it became more and more interesting. Although I said that my own thoughts are only a guess, but if this thing is true, then this world it's just more fun. Well, just wait until later to try it out. Alan doesn't really care, after all. He owns 12 spells, and he possesses a lot of demonic energy and ghost masks. If that's the case, then he can experiment if he wants to, because he possesses such a special power. You can do it yourself, of course. Others simply can't do it. And on top of that, there's all these other questions. Alan squinted in thought, and the war was getting more and more terrifying. Now, the only thing that didn't take action in the entire battlefield was Alan and Adam, the two terrifying monsters. Everyone is very clear, if these two monsters took action, then the battle does not need to be doubted at all, for the entire battlefield. Say, everything that follows is beyond doubt. Woo. He let out a faint puff of smoke. Alan looked at Adam quietly, and Adam also shifted his gaze from the others to Alan. The meaning is already very obvious. For these two people, all that's left is enough. And these two are also very clear, what the next result will be. P.S. 5,000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. Second update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. Chapter 249. Allenby's Adam. Kill. Oh who. Kill Laozi. 95. With this roar and roar, the entire battlefield seems to have begun to churn. This war has completely entered a white-hot stage, and the next result of this war is beyond doubt. Things are up. Die. Fear. Horrible. It's all going to be imprinted on everyone, and that's the scariest thing, isn't it? In this war, everyone is very clear that they can only survive if they win, and only if they win, and other than that, there is no way, not even a little way. The result, for each of them. Whether it is the Pirate Alliance or the people of Atom Kingdom, it is the same as the Knights of Atom Kingdom. Although they have been cultivated, they still have their own consciousness and will. Although they can serve Atom, give your life, but no one wants to die. This is absolutely no doubt. No one wants to die at all. Boom. The roar exploded, and when the eyes of the whole world were on Alan and Adam, Alan seemed to be thinking about something, and then stepped out, and the figure disappeared in an instant. Now, this speed is extremely fast, almost instantaneously. Alan is. Alan's figure appeared on Adam's face. The atmosphere suddenly became weird. Everyone's eyes widened, looking at the battlefield deeply, with a firm look in their eyes. They knew. This is definitely the most important battle is about to start. This battle, it will also represent the end of this war, and everything at this moment seems to be resounding in front of everyone's eyes, giving people a very strange feeling. Alan looked at everything in front of him and said casually, "Old man. Counting the time, we haven't seen each other for many years. However, I didn't expect that you old man would recover so quickly. It's also very interesting." A funny smile appeared. Alan's expression was very interesting, and Adam was not annoyed at all listening to Alan's words. He. With this faint smile, Adam said indifferently, "The reason is very simple. Everything is just in front of you, if that's the case. Then, the plan can't keep up with the changes, in that case. Then only 960 can continue to become stronger, otherwise, it will be a very troublesome thing, isn't it? Well, 35. Indeed so. After all, years. For this world, change is always the fastest. If it is true that Master can live this kind of change casually, it will be like a god, but unfortunately. We guys are not gods. Isn't it? 35. He. Listening to Alan's words, Adam chuckled and shook his head. Indeed. Alan, there is nothing wrong with what you said, unless it is God, otherwise, no one can take everything under control. As if everything was mastered, it's so easy there. There was a look of emotion in his eyes, and Adam shook his head, but. The next moment, his eyes became sharp, but although it is said, no one is a god, but the same is. Any people want to become gods, and that's the most important thing, isn't it? No matter what time it is, people always want to become gods. A cruel and terrifying smile emerged, and this is the core. God has gradually appeared, and this is the most terrifying thing, this is the power of God. And everyone's goal is to become God, and Adam is no exception, he wants to become God. Really? Alan just said casually. No matter what time, for anyone, the goal is the so-called status of God. However, if you think about it, it seems to be a matter of course. The position of God, if you're not interested, that's a very strange thing. That's right, that is the God who rules over the world. And since he is the God who controls everything, he is naturally interested. Feeling such a cruel smile, for a while, everyone seems to have different feelings, and this strange feeling. This strange feeling is the most terrifying, isn't it? The feeling of terror, maybe. What will happen next is the most terrifying feeling. Really are. Alan shook his head casually and continued, but, seriously, you old guy, you showed such strength so early, even in today's war, you won the victory, in fact, it is fundamental, it's just a pointless thing. Those guys won't let you go. Are those guys? Of course Adam knew who Alan was talking about, and even more so. What a horrible guy Alan was talking about. 5 elders. They are the real gods who rule this world. As terrifying monsters that have ruled this world for 800 years, the power they have is really terrifying. Whether you admit it or deny it, you or it is something that must be admitted, that is. They are really terrifying, it is like a godlike posture. And if that's the case, how terrifying is the power they have? Actually, this is a self-evident whisper. For the 5 elders, if the kingdom of Adam really won, then I will definitely find a way to deal with Adam Kingdom. This is something that does not need to be doubted. For the 5 elders, this world. There is no need for such a powerful opponent, let alone such a powerful force, because all this is in the palm of their master, this world, it is also in the palm of their master's hand, and this. This is the reason for you. And your appearance has gradually broken this balance, and even made everything no longer in my hands, then. Everything is not so simple. Just kidding, this is not what the 5 elders want thing. Stop it. Do you think the 5 elders would allow random people to show up in what you think is the back garden? That's absolutely impossible. Because of this, in this situation, what comes next is real, that's it. Unless it is said, once again, a real top-level powerhouse can fight against the world government, or even make the entire world government surrender completely. Other than that, everything else, essentially, it is meaningless. Humph. The corners of his mouth opened a hideous smile, and Alan said in a funny way, so. Things will only get more and more interesting. What will happen next? In fact, no one knows at all. Things, in that case, are not very interesting things, are they? Hee. Adam also chuckled lightly. Yeah, it is indeed a very interesting thing, although there is such a powerful enemy, but. As long as this enemy is defeated, then everything is very simple. Isn't it the most fundamental core? 5. That's right. The two looked at each other, and there was a terrifying light in their eyes. That was the real terrifying killing intent. This is definitely not a joke, but a real fact. The terrifying killing intent and terrifying power seem to it's about swallowing everything up, and because of that, what do you think will happen next? In fact, you don't even need to think about it. These two people are very clear, more considerations are meaningless things, for these two people, to defeat the other side, kill the other side. This is the best result. And this is the most good way. Search. Licking the corners of his mouth slightly, Alan grinned and said savagely, sure enough. For Laozi, what Laozi likes most is a qualified opponent like you. If you kill an opponent like you, Laozi will feel special. Excited. A terrifying killing intent burst forth. For Alan, what he is most looking forward to is a qualified opponent. If there are no qualified opponents, what will be the next result? This is the most important thing. Matter. Alan's killing intent can be said to be very terrifying. Hee. AGFJ. Adam also smiled faintly. That's true. In the face of such an opponent, if you don't get excited, that's the strangest thing. Next, let me see, what is your strength? How? In the past so many years, your strength has been improved again, it is really terrifying. Adam's eyes were full of emotion. He had to admit that Alan was really terrifying. This man was like a monster, and it really made people feel endless horror. It's the most terrifying thing. Too fast. That's right. The speed of Alan's improvement is really too fast. This is really not a joke. It's actually improved to an extremely terrifying level, which has reached a level that makes people unbelievable. And this kind of power is really too much terrifying. Such terrifying strength. What will the next result be? Actually, this is self-evident. It can be said that it took a lot of time for Adam to rise to this level, even to say. He has almost reached his limit, and that's all he is. But at this moment, Alan, but in such a short time to reach such a level, this has been able to prove how amazing Alan's talent is. Whether it's Captain Rock's value or the 3 Army Commander-in-Chief Sen's value, in fact, it can be seen how outstanding Alan is. And such excellence, for Adam, really makes people feel helpless. I don't know how much effort I spent back then, but I was working hard to become stronger. It's a pity. The final result was meaningless at all. No matter how hard I worked. The final result is still the same. After all, he was caught in a bottleneck. And my life has almost reached its limit, and I have gradually reached this level, and finally. In the case of no other way, I can only choose this devil fruit, and I was forced to make such a choice. It's something that he can't change at all. Or rather, for Adam, this really means that Adam's life has reached its limit. This kind of limit is not as simple as talking about it. It's really reaching the limit, and that's why Adam needs to continue and work hard to become stronger. Only in this way can he make his own strength stronger. Further improvement. And Adam did it. He was resurrected again this time, and got everything he wanted, but although Adam was emotional, he was not particularly envious, it was meaningless. Because Adam has such strength, he has such qualifications, if that's the case, then there is no need to make such a jealous look, he just needs to work hard to become stronger, just that kind of thing about Alan. The emotion really comes from the heart, the emotion from the soul. This person is still too powerful. This is absolutely beyond doubt. But, no matter what, these are things to come later, now. The battle is about to start again, don't doubt it. There is no need to hesitate. According to the characters of these two people, what will be the next level of ruthlessness? Never die. Wrong. For these two people, the result of the next battle is like this, and they will never die. The two of them will not show any mercy at all, but will actually kill them. This is the fundamental reason. Personally, they are all very clear, and then, how powerful such a power is, there is no need to doubt, let alone a matter of hesitation. 66.99. The two looked at each other, the corners of their mouths seemed to evoke a smile, and the two seemed to be thinking about something. Here we go. What? The final battle is finally about to begin, and these two terrifying monsters are about to attack. However, what is the strength of these two monsters? Who knows? 5. But what is certain is that these two monsters are absolutely terrifying enough, and they are truly unparalleled horrors. 99. Listening to these words, everyone nodded seriously. That's right. This is a terrifying monster, and it is the kind of monster that is truly terrifying to the ultimate level, that is the most terrifying thing. And if such two monsters take action, what will the next strength be? In fact, this is self-evident, and this result. Next, you don't need to think about it, you know what it will be. How's it going? Woo. He let out a deep breath of turbid air, and the expressions of the two were very solemn, and a terrifying killing intent emerged. This killing intent is very terrifying. And these two people are very clear. Next. No matter what happened, but no matter what the outcome was. Everyone's expression is very solemn, that feeling is really from the soul, from the horror of the heart. This power is really too amazing, it is too terrifying, it is not a joke. But it really comes from the terror under the suppression of the soul. That kind of truly frightening terror. P.S. 5,000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. Third update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect. The expressions of everyone who watched the battle between the two were serious enough. They were all serious observers of the battlefield, as if they had already made all preparations. They knew that the final result was about to be born, and the next the result. That's the most important thing. What is all this about? In fact, you don't have to think about it, you know, everything that follows will be very scary. It's really terrifying. This is the most important thing. Yes. 66.99. Obviously it's a phone bug, but I also feel it seems to be killing people, and I feel the power of endless terror. And besides that, chapter 250, victory is on the two of them. Snapped. Next moment, Alan and Adam shot at the same time, without any skill, without using hockey, without using any ability, without any fancy. Everything is very simple. It is purely the collision of fist and fist. It is purely the collision of power. All this happened so fast, in such a short period of time, under such an astonishing attack, it seemed that the opponent was going to be torn apart directly. Crackling. The amazing battle between the two was extremely terrifying, and under the extremely fast speed, it formed an amazing impact. Drink. What? With this loud shout, it was in an instant, as if it was going to destroy everything. This force was too terrifying. When a punch fell, it was as if it was going to destroy everything. The power of it is simply too terrifying. Bump. Crackling. Boom. With the collision of the two punches, the surrounding earth exploded in an instant, everything seemed to be tumbling in an instant, and all directions collapsed in an instant. The unbelievable look is really too terrifying. It is too terrifying. This power, it should be said. Compared with them, it is not a level of battle at all. Just by looking at it, you can understand what a terrifying powerhouse this is, and the power that burst out at this moment makes people feel terrified. Exclamation mark. Tick-tock. Drops of blood dripped down, the fist of the two of them shattered instantly, and the wounds were dripping blood uncontrollably, but Alan and Adam looked like they didn't care at all. The corners of his mouth grinned, and a wicked smile appeared. Hee hee. It's really interesting. 35. Really good opponent. Humph. The two of them looked at each other, and the corners of their mouths invariably showed a hideous smile, but it became more and more interesting. What will be the next result? This is the most interesting thing. Isn't it? Search. Licking the corner of his mouth slightly, Alan's right hand injury has recovered in an instant, then he shook his hand slightly, and said casually, "It looks like the battle is about to start for real. I want to see, you old man. What is the strength of this guy?" What? Adam also nodded with emotion. The moment he raised his hand, the holy light fell, and the injury recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. He said lightly, "Next. Let's try it out, let me see. What is your strength? And if you are such an arrogant boy, if you don't have enough corresponding strength, it's a very bad thing." 35. Of course. Come and try it out. The two of them looked at each other, and an interesting killing intent emerged. This terrifying killing intent contained endless terror, obviously. Both of them showed no mercy, and even said that the two of them both have ultimate's killing intent. This is definitely not a joke, but it is full of endless killing intent. The test just now, although it only took a moment, but the two have already understood that the other party's strength is very strong. Compared with their own strength, it is almost half a kilogram of strength. If this is the case, then it will not end here. This battle has only just begun. Search. 6699. Licking the corners of his mouth slightly, the two of them maintained a different kind of calm. This kind of calmness is the most strange thing. Both of them stared at each other, as if they were thinking about what to do. Same. Actually, the strength of the two is almost the same. The victory of this battle is born between the two. As long as one of the two wins, then the final result is self-evident, and the war will come to an end. After all, when such two powerhouses, if there are no restrictions and complete shots, then their numerical advantage or any advantage is simply a meaningless thing. This is a meaningless thing. For such a strong person, there must be a strong person who can be equal, otherwise, everything is meaningless. Roar. When Alan opened his mouth, a terrifying breath burst out in an instant. The monstrous breath seemed to devour everything, not only that. The divine power seems to be able to penetrate everything. Brush. Adam did not dare to be careless. A pair of pure white wings emerged from his back, which blocked everything in an instant. The wings crossed, blocking all attacks directly, in a short period of time. This invincible power is the most terrifying awe. The power of a short period of time makes people seem to be full of disbelief. And all of this is really too fast, to the extent that it is too late for people to react, or even to perceive. The speed of all this is really too fast, and under such an amazing speed. Boom. This shock wave was finally blocked. It seems to be very simple. Adam's strength is definitely displayed incisively and vividly at this moment, and his amazing strength is fully displayed. This is Adam's strength. Powerful. The white wings exude a holy light, and are covered with jet black armament hockey, and through such double defense, they have blocked all the opponent's attacks, and all this is fleeting. Boom. Boom. And Alan's figure jumped up instantly and punched directly, and Adam was not afraid of Alan's attack at all. The fists of the two collided with each other again. Under this terrifying impact, it seemed that everything would be swallowed up. This is really too fast. The two fists turned into afterimages, and under the terrifying offensive, they gradually devoured everything. This is the strength and speed of the invincible offensive of the two. It is too terrifying. Crackling. Crackling. Boom. Under such a terrifying offensive and speed, in this short period of time, under the amazing power that unfolded, it was really too terrifying, and under such terrifying power. This is the most terrifying. Everything that comes down is the most terrifying. Because of this, this is the most worthy of attention, and this is also the most terrifying force. The fierce battle between the two is still going on. Same. The entire battlefield is also in the white-hot stage. Kong cloud cut earthquake cut. When a knife fell, the earth in all directions seemed to be shattered by the followers in an instant. One after another cracks covered the surrounding area, and unexpectedly, one after another astonishing slashes shattered, and these slashes had shattered everything in all directions. Completely covered, this is really too fast, to the point that it seems that it is too late for people to notice. Therefore, under such an amazing speed, in a short period of time, under such an amazing offensive, everything around seems to be torn apart in an instant. It's too fast. It's so fast that people can't even notice it. Woo. He spit out a deep breath of turbid air, and Newgate spit out a little turbid air. The corners of his mouth twitched. Air shock. Earthquake slash. Sea shock slash. These are all tactics Newgate is studying. Tender consolidation perfectly combines and exerts the power of shock fruit. This is the most important thing, and this is also the most fundamental reason, and under such a combination. Obviously, Newgate has gradually done it. He has really exerted the power of shock fruit, in fact. He can burst out the power of shock fruit, under such power, in fact. It is already that gradually developed to a new level. This is the new level that Newgate is gradually achieving, which is the awakening of shock fruit. That's right. Although Newgate did not deliberately wake up, but, with the improvement of his own strength and his development of shock fruit, he has really gradually reached the level of such awakening, although it is said. Now it's not at all obvious at all. But such a result is not a strange thing. Newgate's strength is also placed here, and his aptitude is beyond doubt. Next, as long as time goes by, it will gradually be able to achieve such power. It takes a little time to reach it, so I say. There is no need to be anxious at all. At least, in Alan's view, these are really not big problems at all. Of course, Alan, as the eldest brother, has noticed the improvement of his second child's strength, but Alan didn't say anything. You don't need to say anything more. This is Newgate's strength improvement. Let him gradually understand it, but what he says more will bring huge pressure. This is a meaningless thing. Let his own strength is improved, so that he can gradually improve his own strength. This is the most important fundamental core. Hee. Newgate raised the corners of his mouth, and a smile emerged. Goo la la la. 35. Immediately after that, Newgate laughed heroically, and with this heroic laughter, Newgate said proudly, Hey, you guy, if you continue like this, then the battle is over. But it's a really boring battle. You don't have that kind of strength, do you? That's really boring. Humph. Listening to Newgate's words, the face of the man in the black suit on the opposite side became very ugly, obviously. The horror of this strength has already been reflected, but, for him, he is really not at all. The other side is on the research. 0. For flowers. He never imagined that his final battle against Newgate would be like this, and the strength he showed was not an opponent at all. That's right, from all aspects, he is not an opponent at all, as if I and the other party are not at the same level at all. This kind of pure strength gap is the most desperate thing. It is too desperate. Such despair is the most terrifying thing. And this feeling is also the most terrifying, helpless thing. He sighed slightly silently, but clenched his fists again. No matter what, it was absolutely impossible for him to lose like this. Goo la la la. With this familiar and heroic laughter, Newgate held a knife in one hand and said proudly, next. Are you ready for World War I? Yes. Then let me come and see what your strength is. A cruel smile appeared, and Newgate's killing intent was still terrifying enough. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Drops of blood seem to be dripping gradually, and this battle is about to come to an end like this, and it's over like this. Isn't it strange that the battle has ended here? Hee. This kind of battle is coming to an end here. On the other side, Thunder 8 trigrams. With this deafening roar, Kaido in the form of a human and beast showed extremely strong strength. Under the power of this blow, it seemed to destroy everything in an instant. Kaido's terrifying blow, in an instant. As if the sky was about to collapse, everything around was shattered in an instant. Ha. And this man was breathing heavily and his face was very ugly. He raised his head and stared at Kaido's figure, obviously. He never thought that Kaido's strength would be so amazing. Spit out a mouthful of dirty blood, his face is very ugly, and there are already wounds on his body. Worororo. Kaido laughed wildly, with a heroic look in his eyes, he laughed wildly. It really makes people feel excited. Such power is simply not worth mentioning. There is no need at all. It's a trivial thing to be looked down upon. How dare a rubbish like you dare to be presumptuous to the big brother? It's really despised. Cut. Kaido is carrying a mace, and the whole person's breath is extremely terrifying, it can be said. It is simply a look that does not put the other party in his eyes, which is really full of disdain. Actually, Kaido also has such qualifications. Kaido's strength can be said to be absolutely unquestionable, although it is said Kaido's age is not very old, even very young. But, if you look down on Kaido because of this, so, what you need to pay is the price of life. And, it is absolutely the price of death, this is absolutely beyond doubt. This power, you don't need to think about it, you know how amazing Kaido's strength is, this is Kaido's strength. In so many years, Kaido's strength has been greatly improved, even to say Kaido's strength, it should be said that Kaido's strength has been greatly improved is no exaggeration. Originally, Kaido's age is relatively young after all, and, because of his relatively young age, his strength in all aspects is relatively weak. Under such circumstances, Kaido is naturally completely different, and he needs time to continue to improve. Only, Kaido followed his eldest brother, especially with the blessing of something like the gravity training room. The increase in strength was extremely terrifying. Not only that, especially after absorbing the divine power of the dragon charm. Kaido's devil fruit fish, phantom, blue dragon form. Even though this is not the system ability of a world, but one is the green dragon fruit and the other is the dragon charm. The combination of the two can still exert stronger power. Because of this, Kaido's strength or bloodline has been awakened. An extremely terrifying level, and because of this, under such circumstances, Kaido's strength is rapidly increasing. In a short period of time, Kaido's strength has reached an extremely amazing level, even shocking. And because of this, Kaido's strength is getting stronger and stronger. The more terrifying. It has really reached a terrifying level. This is Kaido's strength improvement. PS. 5000 word chapter. Daily 6 updates. 4th update. Please subscribe. Please customize. Please collect.